Okay, can everyone hear me? Oh, right, I need to put this in Discord. I need to announce this shit in Discord so that my peeps can join me. My peeps, my peeps, my peeps. And I really should put a link to my Discord server on my channel. I don't think I've done that. I need to go and do that. Anyway, let me just post this announcement. I'ma post this announcement. I'ma post this announcement. And I just had some Domino's pizza. Domino's is good. My favorite's Pizza Hut, but Domino's is like a close second. You can hear me. You can hear me. Oh, good. Joshua, you can hear me too. Oh, shut up, computer. Okay. Let me just mute my computer. Okay, we are live. Hi, everyone. I am Chronology15, and today we are going to have a Rantstream about the Toy Story movies and the other one. Anyway, let us continue. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, we're going to have a Rantstream on the Toy Story movies and on the Lightyear movie, which I watched on Disney Plus. I watched all these on Disney Plus, but like Lightyear's the only movie that I watched only on Disney Plus. I didn't watch it any other way. I didn't go to the theaters for it. I didn't care to. It wasn't the theaters. It wasn't theaters at one point, right? I think it was. But I didn't care to go. But Toy Story 1 and 2, I believe I watched those on VHS. And 3 and 4 I watched in theaters. But, yeah. At least, or maybe the first one. I think on the first one I also watched it on TV at one point, but I can't remember. But yeah, I have watched every single one of these. Okay, so let us cover Pizza Hut. Yuck. How dare you, Maple? Pizza Hut's my baby! My baby! Not gonna lie, sometimes when I have pizza, I like to look up the scene in Spider-Man PS4 game when Peter's enjoying some pizza. Right? Right? It's like, yeah, like you watch me and you're like, now I want some pizza. You saw Lightyear in theaters, Galactic? Oh, okay. I keep missing these streams because I forget to have YouTube notify me. Oh, okay. Yeah, YouTube's like... Oh, you said you forgot to have YouTube notify you. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, so, yeah, Lightyear was in theaters. Okay. Just making sure. Oh, you watched it in 3D? Huh. I wonder how that went for you. But, anyway. Let's talk about the film chronology. The main films. Okay, so Toy Story 1 came out in or just Toy Story came out in 1995. So, which is actually a year just after I was born. So this movie is almost as old as I am, if you start from the release date, because this movie had been in production since 1990. But anyway. Toy Story 2 was released in 1999, Toy Story 3 was released in 2010, and Toy Story 4 was released in 2019, and Lightyear was released in 2022. It is a side film. It's a spin-off film of the series. Okay, so the beginning of the movie Lightyear, it's like there's this little text blurb or whatever, the sequence or whatever, that says that this is supposed to be the movie that made Andy want to get Buzz Lightyear in the first Toy Story film. And I'm like, I don't see it. But we'll get to that later. Anyway, let us talk about these films in more depth. The only other available screening was in 3D. Oh, okay. So, you know, I'm actually going to do things a bit differently this time. So I'm just going to I'm going to quickly cover what all the films have in common, like what they all do pretty well. So I'd say that they all generally have good animation. They all have good animation. The films all have good animation. They do. Even the first one. Although the first one is slightly dated in my opinion. They're all like the animation was still good. So, but yeah, the films all do have good animation. With Lightyear being probably the most impressive in my opinion. Like, because the animation, the level of animation got better with each movie. So, it was good in Toy Story 1. It was great in Toy Story 2. It was really great in Toy Story 3, amazing in Toy Story 4, and just out of this world in Lightyear. Out of this world. See what I did there? Huh? Really? No? Oh, okay. No, I'm kidding. Hey, Thomas. Yeah, Andy was supposed to have watched it in 1995. The Lightyear movie, I mean. Which, again, I don't believe, but I mean, it's not wrong, but it's just that it makes no fucking sense. But I'll get to that later. But yeah, the films generally have very good animation. The 4 Toy Story movies basically have the same plot when you think about it. You're not wrong, actually. You're not wrong, Maple. You are absolutely not wrong. Because in every single one of the stories, the toys get displaced from their home, and they have to make it back. That's literally the case in every single story. In the first Toy Story movie, Woody and Buzz got separated they got separated from Andy, and they had to make their way back home. In the second movie, Woody got separated from the others by complete accident and made some new friends in a different part of town, and then he had to go and find his way back. But at the same time, his friends went looking for him. And in the third movie, Woody's toys all get donated by mistake to some daycare center, and then they had to make their way back. And in the fourth movie, one of the toys gets separated from Bonnie, who's the current owner of all the toys, and Woody and as well as a few of his friends have to go and save the toy. So yeah, again, it's like toys get lost, they have to go back home. Toys get lost, they have to go back home. Toys get lost, they have to go back home. Toys get lost, so they have to go back home. So yeah, it's like, but I mean, the plots, like, they're all different, but they have a similar premise, if that makes sense. Like they use the same trope of, oh shit, I'm far away from home, I need to get back. So yeah, the films all utilize the same trope, but in different ways. Why are you underlining that? Okay. Anyway. Yeah, exactly. In all 4 movies, the toys get separated from their owner and they have to get back to them. That's literally the plot in every single Toy Story movie. But it never feels the same, you know? Because and that's the thing about creativity. You can make something new out of something old. And the Toy Story movies did that well. Even though the toys get separated every damn time, Woody especially, the plot never feels the same. So it works. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly as you said, Maple. It's exactly as I said. It's just a matter of taking something that you did and making it into something new. So it's okay that these movies all use the same trope. They just use it in different ways, and that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, most franchises do tend to follow the same story and formula, which is, again, fine, as long as it's not a repeat of the previous plots, like the Sing movies or the what else? Or the fucking Jumanji, the Next Level movies, or what the fuck ever that movie was. Not the original one. The one that takes place in the video game. The second movie was literally a repeat of the first. It was just stupid. But yeah. And there's also that saying that there are really only 6 different kinds of plots. I wonder what those 6 are. Because honestly, I have no idea. But yeah, like, really, like, all stories have common elements. Which is fine, because, you know, that's just how stories work, you know. They all have a beginning, a middle, and end, some common tropes here and there, and that's it. It's just a matter of telling the story differently. Yeah, not the biggest fan of new Jumanji movies. Yeah. Honestly, I liked the first one, but the second one was crap. Although, I'd say neither was really all that high in quality. So, oops. But the second one was just absolutely awful compared to the first. The first one was serviceable. The second one was not. Just, no. Mm-mm. Yeah, I don't care much for them either. I mean, the first one at least had some effort put into it, though. The second one just didn't. It was so lazy. Oh my god. Like, Sing 2. Like, it felt like that, where it's like, you're literally just repeating the same plot as before. Why are you wasting our time? But yeah, the Toy Story movies, they all use the same trope, but in different ways. And it's fine. And I'd argue that it's kind of a necessity, because that's kind of the thing about Toy Story, you know. The toys, they go off and do things that their owners don't know about, which often involves adventure. So it kind of makes sense for Pixar to reuse this formula. And they were pretty good about not making it repetitive. They reused it, but without making it repetitive. But in any case, that's another thing that the movies have in common. Anything else? I wouldn't say the music is overall great, because Lightyear's music was kind of it was kind of a mixed bag. But the first 4 films had like music that ranged from decent to very good. So I guess you could say the films generally have good music. Lightyear is kind of a mixed bag, but the first four are fine. So yes, let's say the films generally have good music. I mean, who could forget about classics such as "You've Got a Friend in Me" or Woody's Roundup, or whatever that song was called. I still remember that shit to this day. 'Cause it's time for Sheriff Woody. He's the very best. He's the rootinest, tootinest cowboy in the wild, wild west. Woody's Roundup. That shit slaps! Let's go! Yes! That shit slaps! So many classics. Yeah, my favorite would be Toy Story 2 as well. I remember watching it so many times on VHS. It was just... I remember having the tape for it, but I don't know what I did with it. But, yeah, I watched it so many times on videotape that, like, I even... Like, even when I rewatched the movie recently, I found myself subconsciously remembering all of the... all of the parts. Many of the parts that were in the movie. Like, many of the songs, the character lines... the action sequences. I was like, how, like, oh my god, this is, like, the nostalgia just hit me hard. It was just so good. I remember there being a music video of that Woody's Roundup song at the end of the VHS. I think so too, now that you mention it, but I can't really remember. I'd have to look it up to see if, because I feel like I might have seen that, but I don't even remember. But I do remember having the tape. I just don't remember what I did with it. I think my mom probably sold it or gave it away or something. I don't know. But that's fine, because like, there are 4K versions of all these movies, so it's fine. And again, there's Disney Plus, so whatever. But having a VHS tape would still be nice. Yours is probably a tie between 2 and 3 for your favorite. Yeah, 3 is pretty good as well. 4... Well, I'll get to 4 later. Like, I liked 4 as well. Although, honestly, out of the 4 Toy Story movies, I find that one the weakest. But we'll get to that later. They also had that in the VHS for Disney's Hercules and Tarzan as well. Huh. The more you know. Intéressant. I did not know that because, I mean, I remember watching the Hercules movie like as a kid. I just don't remember. I probably didn't watch it on VHS though, or maybe I did. I don't even remember. I don't even remember there being a music video, so I probably didn't watch it on VHS. But yeah. I also I don't even know if I've ever fully watched the Tarzan movie. Maybe just bits and pieces of it. Or maybe I did, but I just don't remember it. I don't know. Like, it's been so many years. But I do remember watching at least some of the Tarzan movie. I know what happens to the villain at the end, though, and it's pretty damn dark. I won't spoil it, but it's just fucked up. Anyway, you know, and it's even more fucked up that that the hero was actually trying to prevent it from happening, but it happened anyway. Oof. But I'm not going to say anymore. So, anything else regarding any other common, like, any other traits that these movies have in common? I'm trying to think. Okay, animation, story, music. So the voice acting. Is the voice acting solid across the board? I would say it is. I would say it's generally solid. Although, I feel like maybe, I don't know, I feel like the first three movies had better voice acting than 4 and Lightyear. But yeah, I'd say the voice acting was generally decent. Or I'd say good. The voice acting was generally good. But I wouldn't say like that any of the films had bad voice acting. Now, Lightyear is a pretty controversial movie, or polarizing, if not controversial. And I'll get to that. Like, I have quite a bit to say on Lightyear. Although it's going to be hard for me to say it because, like, when I finished watching the movie, I just had mixed feelings all around. More, like, it was just a very weird movie. But anyway. But yeah, voice acting was generally good. Like, Willie's voice actor was great. Buzz's voice actor was great. Jesse's voice actor was great. I don't like Jessie's voice herself. It's ear grating. Her voice is ear grating to me. But her voice actress isn't bad. She did a good job. I just don't like the character's voice. But yeah, and the same could be said for all the other voices. I liked Slink's voice, Mr. Potato Head's voice, Ham's voice, Rex's voice, Bo's voice. Really, everyone across the board sounded good. Okay, let's see. Anything else? I think that's it. I think I covered pretty much. See, anime. I said anime. Animation, story, music, voice acting. There was one more thing I was about to say. Damn. Oh, the characters. Okay, so the characters. Oof. Okay, I kind of feel like the quality of the characters went downhill from 4 and onward. Like the first three, I think the first 3 movies had a solid cast of characters, especially the second one. But after that, it's just kind of, especially Lightyear, oof, okay. Like, Lightyear had, the characters, mixed quality. 4, overall decent, though there were a few that were not my cup of tea. But the first 3 had a solid cast of characters, in my opinion. So, I guess you could say, the first 3 movies had a solid cast of characters. The last 2, well, I mean, the 4 was decent, but 5, and by 5 I mean Lightyear. It's just like, not so much. Sorry, but Lightyear just no. But anyway, I think that's pretty much all I can say about general comments before I start talking about the films in more depth. I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna try, like, maybe. I probably don't even need, like, these slides really. Fuck it. Let's change this up. Actually no. I'll keep it here. I don't know. We'll see. But okay. So let's get to the movies themselves. Starting with the first movie, Toy Story. Okay. Oh, where do I start with this one? So. Honestly, when I first watched this recently, I did not even remember much of the plot other than the fact that Woody and Buzz got separated from Andy and had to find their way back home. That's literally all I remembered of the plot. Like, literally the only scenes I did remember a few scenes here and there, like the scene where Sid straps Buzz to a rocket. You know, Sid, Andy's nasty neighbor who mistreats toys. I remember that. I remember the part where he strapped Buzz to a rocket, and when he and Woody, and the part when he and Woody, like, tried to escape from Sid's room. I also remember the part where Woody and Buzz, they're in Andy's car and then they have a fight. I remember that part. And there were other scenes I remembered as well. Oh yeah, and the part with the soldiers, like, you know, doing recon downstairs to see what birthday presents Andy had for his birthday party. So there were a few scenes I remembered here and there, but a lot of the movie I just didn't remember. And because, like, I don't remember the original one because I didn't watch it that many times. I think I watched it, like, only 2 or 3 times, and it was a pretty old movie, so yeah. Like, I remember some parts, but I just found myself thinking, how do I not remember a lot of this? But it was nice watching it again. Like, it was a good movie. I really liked it. Not my favorite, but of the Toy Story movies, I mean. But it was a good movie. Oh, hi, Anime Kid. My favorite sassy Woody moment is the car fight. You are a toy! That was funny. Anyway, now that part I remember too. I know that was an iconic line, and Buzz even says the funny thing is that Buzz ends up saying the same thing to Woody in the second movie, so they flipped it. And there was a reason for that, but I'll get to that when I talk about Toy Story 2. Woody's such an asshole, though. Yeah, in the first film, he was pretty much an asshole. He was pretty selfish. He didn't like that Andy... See, Woody and Buzz got into that mess in the first place because Woody didn't like that Andy got a new toy and was spending a lot of time with, that toy being Buzz. And Woody didn't like that Andy was spending a lot of time with Buzz, so he wanted to get rid of Buzz. But then some shit happens and they both end up getting separated from Andy. And then they both have that confrontation in the car. And then they both, so from that point on, well, they don't start working together. They kind of do start working together, but then shit happens and then they end up getting, found by, they get found by Sid. and they get taken to his house, which is fortunately right next to Andy's house, but yeah. Woody was even more of an asshole in the original script. I think I remember in the original script he was actually trying to get Buzz killed or something. It's a good thing they fixed that, because that would have been too dark. That would have been way too dark. I'm like, fam, don't do that. Don't do that, Woody. But yeah, Woody was an asshole in this film. He was pretty selfish in this film. But, you know, later she does show concern for Buzz and tries to help him escape. But yeah, he did try to get rid of Buzz at first, which the other toys knew, and they pretty much shut Woody out for it, and rightfully so. Although it didn't help that Woody needed their help to get back to Andy's car. So yeah, that caused a lot of trouble, but fortunately Woody and Buzz still managed to get back to the car. Oh yeah, and the car chase scene, I remember that too. But really, I did not remember the original movie all that well. I'm ashamed to admit that, but I'm sorry, I just didn't. But the second one I remembered quite a bit, which makes sense because I watched that one the most times. It was probably like one of my most watched movies. It was definitely one of the movies I rewatched the most, along with Shrek the Third and Disney's Robin Hood, like the animated classic. That shit was awesome. You guys, if you haven't seen that, which I must question, go and watch it now on Disney Plus. It is too good. It is too good. But anyway, that was apparently the biggest problem with the original script, that Woody was too unlikable. He does get better as the movie goes on. Yeah. But yeah, the first movie is just so good. First Toy Story movie, it was good. It was good. And Sid even gets his comeuppance for, you know, mistreating all his toys. And that was probably like the only time... That was probably the only time in the Toy Story movies where a toy actually, you know, talked and moved around a human. Talked to and moved around a human. With Woody just telling Sid, don't mistreat your toys, bitch. Or something like that. And Sid just screamed and then ran into the house. Oh, that was classic. Yeah, Woody does go through character development, and so does Buzz, because Buzz at first thinks that he's actually a space ranger, but then, you know, over time he realizes that he's just a toy. And that there's nothing wrong with that. I'd say the characters are a big positive for each of the films minus Lightyear. Yeah, I agree. You know what? Let me go back and change something. Let me say the first 4 movies. Let's say the first 4 movies had a solid cast of characters. What about Lightyear? We don't talk about Lightyear. Just like we don't talk about Bruno. Or Sonic 06. Or Mulan 2020. We don't talk about these things. Or FNAF Security Breach. Or Sonic 4. We don't talk about any of those. We don't. Anyway. Sorry, I didn't mean to shade that much. Actually, I did. But, yeah, Toy Story. I mean, what's there not to like about it? It's just a very good movie. Not as impressive as Toy Story 2 to me, but I just loved it. And I can't really think of any negatives regarding Toys. I could just delete all these slides. But, whatever. But yeah, like, I can't really think of any negatives regarding the first Toy Story film. Or probably any of the first 4 films. Lightyear, now with Lightyear, I can think of a few. But with the first 4 films, I can't really think of very many negatives. So, yeah, it seems like longtime franchises have been getting crappier lately. The Simpsons. Sorry. Anyway, but, you know, Family Guy. Sorry. I need to drink something. Hold on. Oh my god. But yeah, Toy Story 1 did have slightly dated animation. Not too dated like an Ice Age 1. It's not that dated, but it was still dated looking. But that's okay because the film still looks good. It didn't age badly. And the animation only gets better as the movies as you watch more of the movies. There's also that one plot hole that everyone likes to poke fun at. If Buzz doesn't think he's a toy at the beginning, then why does he freeze every time a human's in the room? That's a good question, actually. That's a good question. I don't know why. That's a good question. You know what? I have an idea. Here, let me just block the display for a moment. Hang on. Okay. I'll still be talking. I just need to block the display for a moment. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let me just pull up the chat window. You just pop that out and put that here. There. Okay. Maybe my biggest theory is that maybe he's just trying to play dead and not expose himself. I guess that makes sense. Black screen alert. Black screen alert. Black screen alert. Oh wow, this is I find this interesting here. Like if you look at pictures of toys, if you look at pictures of the first Toy Story movie, Woody has a slightly different facial expression in two otherwise identical pictures of the movie, the movie posters. Like in one of the pictures, he's looking at Buzz with a facial expression that says, "Bitch, get off me," or some shit like that. Whereas in the second one, he's actually smiling. I just find that interesting. Here, let me see if I can, hold on. I'm gonna see if I can put both on this presentation. And it's also unfortunate that this movie had at least two people who turned out to be not so great people. Those two being John Lasseter and Josh Whedon. Whedon? I think it's Whedon, but whatever. I've heard of those. I've come across those names before, but I don't really know the people themselves. Like, I don't know anything about them. So I wouldn't know anything. Okay, let me see if I'm trying to no, hold on. Dom. Okay. I'm trying to hold on. I wish I had done this earlier, but that's okay. Wait, what the fuck is going? You screw it. Okay, let me just put this back. Let me change the layout of the slide. Okay, okay, there. Now I want to add a picture here. Dumb! Oh, insert. Let's see. Let me put that one here. Let me just delete this hoe. Ah! That's not what I meant to do. I'm gonna just delete you. I'm gonna just delete you. And there. Okay, let me see if I can make these pictures bigger. Because I find the difference here quite amusing. Okay, let me see if I can center this. Okay, there we go. Alright, so put this back. Okay, there. And that looks okay enough. Let me move that up a bit. Okay, there, that's good enough. Okay, so now I'm going to put the screen back on. Okay, so you can see here that Woody's facial expression is different here, but otherwise, like it's the same. Otherwise, it's basically the same picture, aside from like the name of the movie being displayed differently. Like, see how in the first one Woody's just looking at Buzz with the with the facial expression that says, "This guy is just this guy. Who the fuck does this guy think he is?" And in this one, he's just happy. I wonder why that is. like they changed it. I was just like, okay, I guess they wanted to make Woody look better in this film because he's kind of an asshole in it. So I guess it makes sense. I don't know. You can look up the controversy behind them. Ooh, now I'm all curious. Ooh. Oh, and yeah, they also changed the background of the room in the second one. So they did change a few things in the second poster, but otherwise it's basically the same picture. Woody is truly a sassy guy. Not only that, but he's super rude and sarcastic. He is. He's very sarcastic. I mean, like at least he stopped being selfish after the first movie, because in the second, third, and fourth movies he actually acts a lot more selfless than he did in the first. Like he often risked his life to save other toys, even if they screwed him over first, because that's what happened in the third and fourth movies. But anyway, but yeah, Toy Story, the first movie was pretty much, well, it was good. It was very good. The animation is slightly dated, and there is there was that one plot hole Maple mentioned earlier, although there is a plausible explanation for it, so I'm not really going to put it down as a negative. Oh, not right now. Not like, I guess like not completely. But anyway, but yeah, Toy Story 1, overall solid film. So now let me go and find a picture for Toy Story 2. Yeah, exactly. Woody isn't completely selfish. He's actually far from selfish. In the first movie, he was quite selfish. Well, not like completely, because in the first movie he still cared about others. It's just that he was just a very jealous person. But that pretty much doesn't happen from the second movie and onwards. So Woody is actually a very selfless character. Not so much in the first one, but from the second one and onwards, yes. Yeah, Sid was a crazy guy. Like, he mistreated all of his toys. Like taking parts from toys and putting them into other toys, and I'm like, dude, that's just messed up. Yeah, Tom Hanks was basically made for Woody. He is the Woody. No one can replace him, in my opinion. Potato Head is Woody times 2. Yeah, if you thought Woody was sarcastic, Mr. Potato Head is twice that amount. Like, Mr. Potato Head is... He's the guy who's a bit of a dick, but it's very likable. Kind of like Donald Duck in the Kingdom Hearts series. He's like Donald Duck there. That iconic line. So play nice, motherfucker. I love it. It's so good! Okay. I'm going to talk about the second one in a moment here. Just hold on. Okay, so let's talk about Toy Story 2. Oh shit, hold on. And there, that'll do it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. We toys can see everything. Oh yeah, like Woody just nailed it with that performance. Where at first he was talking, but like he wasn't moving his face or anything. But then he turned his head around, and then when his head, had turned completely back in place, he outright told Sid, "So play nice," and it was funny. But yeah, Toy Story 2. Yay. Okay. Okay, time to talk about my favorite movie of all of these movies. It's so good! It's so good! I love it! I love it! Again, I watched it so many times as a kid. So many times, it's not even funny. Like, because it was just that good. And I rarely rewatch movies. So, if I rewatch a movie, chances are that it's good. So, like, because, like, again, that's not something I do most of the time. It's just so good. I just loved it. Like, this movie was just so iconic. I think it's the best one in the series. Like, there's just so much that's good about it. I can't find any faults with it, if I'm going to be honest. They're not saying that there aren't any, I just can't think of any. Like, it's just so good. Like, I think the plot's the best one in the series. Like, I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love the characters. I love the plot. I loved everything. I love the humor. I forgot to mention the humor in. I should probably mention that's something else I should probably mention. The humor in these movies is generally good, except for Lightyear, which is again a mixed bag. But anyway, the humor is generally good. Because, yeah, these movies don't use a lot of jokes, but when they do, they usually land. So, yeah. Now, on to the sequel that somehow manages to be even better than the original. This movie had quite a messed up production, though. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Like, the production was a mess, yet Pixar still managed to make it work, and the movie ended up being better than the original. Because I just love it whenever you work on a project or something, and then you think it's going to be shit, but it ends up doing better than you expected. It's one of those things. It's one of those times here with Toy Story. At first, this was supposed to be a direct to VHS, but Disney put in theaters instead. Huh. Wow. I'm glad they did. Because honestly, yeah, this movie would have. I would have been sad if this movie had been released as just direct to VHS sequel. No, it deserves a lot better than that. No, it deserved a lot better than that. But yeah, I love this movie. I love the characters. I love Jesse. I love Bullseye. I love the second Buzz Lightyear. I love the rescue team that consisted of Buzz Lightyear, Rex, Slinky, Ham, and Mr. Potato Head. Oh, and who can forget that one scene where they're all trying to cross a busy street and then they cause a shit ton of traffic? Oh, damn. Like that scene was just so... I remember that scene to this very day. It was just so iconic. Like Buzz and the others needed to cross the street, but they had no way to do it without using traffic cones. Because that was the only way they could cross the street without being seen. Or crushed. So, that was pretty funny. Like they caused so much traffic. Like they managed to make it through without getting crushed or anything like that. But like literally right after they put away the cones, like there was a huge traffic accident. I was like, y'all were wrong for that. Also, nearly 90% of the work got accidentally deleted, but a good portion of it got to be saved thanks to someone being smart enough to have a backup drive. Thank God. Like, if there hadn't been a backup drive, they would have been screwed. But yeah, this is why you back your shit up. Always back your shit up. This is exactly why. Then there was 9 months ago before release. Pixar was not happy with the quality of the movie and asked Disney for more time. Disney refused and demanded that the movie meet its intended release date of November 1999. Disney sucks sometimes, more than sometimes actually. Yeah, they're a pretty shitty company in general. They suck. They're probably one of the worst companies out there, if not the worst. They suck. They're horrible people. In more ways than one. Do I need to explain why? Like, I'm pretty sure everyone knows why at this point. If I explain why, I would just be being a dead horse. But yeah, that's Disney for you. I mean, Toy Story 2 was still great. It's like, honestly, you while watching the movie, you wouldn't even be able to tell that there was any sort of like that production was messed up at all. You wouldn't be able to tell because it's just that good. Pixar really nailed it, despite having a messy production experience, and it ended up being the best one in my opinion, at least better than the first. Pixar had to rework all the storyboards over the course of a weekend. Damn, that is exhausting and time consuming, you're right. That is exhausting. Like, Disney couldn't give them more time. Yeah, unfortunately, that's why I'm really not a fan of setting. That's why I'm really not a fan of most like production schedules or whatever. Because for whatever reason, sometimes people are just not given enough time, whether it be a video game or a movie. Like, sometimes people have to rush, and it's frustrating to see. It's frustrating. It's just frustrating. Like give your employees time to work on their shit. Give them time. They need time. Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, exactly. Like, most companies are like that, and it's disgusting. But what can you do? I guess they fall under the mindset of time is money. The less time we have, the less money we waste. Yeah, sure. Let's see how long that philosophy lasts for you. Anyway. But Pixar, you guys nailed it. So, congratulations. Pixar has always been a pretty good company. So like with the way Toy Story 2 turned out, I'm just like, how did you guys manage to make something so successful like this under such crappy conditions? Y'all knocked it out of the park. Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, it's, it's business. If you don't meet a deadline, well, you get punished. It's stupid, but that's just how it is. But yeah, the movie. Oh my god. The opening scene is absolutely amazing. Oh, I love the opening scene. Oh my god, I loved it. Where Buzz Lightyear is seemingly in space fighting against Zurg and his robot army or some shit like that, and then gets blasted. at the end of the whole scene, he literally gets zapped to oblivion by Zurg. Like, the top half of his body gets zapped. But then the whole sequence is revealed to be a video game that Rex is playing. So yeah. It might be my favorite opening scene in any movie. Really? Huh. Wow. Yeah, it's a pretty good opening scene. I even remember it. Like, I was like, oh, I remember this part, and this part, and this part right here. But yeah, like, really, just like the opening scene was great. Oh, and who could forget about the credits, like the bloopers during the credits? Those were iconic. I loved those. Like, the bloopers were just funny. Like, who could forget about the bloopers in the credits? Oh man. Like there were so many funny scenes with Woody accidentally getting stuck in the roll of duct tape. Oh man. Oh man, this movie, just like, the nostalgia hit me pretty hard. Not extremely hard, but hard enough. But hard enough. Like, oh my god, oh man. And who could forget about the one scene? The one scene on top of the elevator in some apartment building or whatever, of the guy who owned a store or whatever, where the second Buzz Lightyear is fighting Zurg, and then there's this parody of and then that scene plays out. It ends up being a parody of the scene from Star Wars where, Darth Vader tells Anakin, "I'm your father," and they did that here, but and it was funny. Like, they made fun of that scene here, where Zurg says, "No, Buzz, I am your father." No! Yeah, that one was a funny scene. That blooper where Buzz burps while he's in one of the boxes in Al's Toy Barn, and then he's like, "Oh, I don't remember eating that. Sorry." Oh shit. No, that shows just how much I know about Star Wars. Anakin is Darth Vader. My bad. It's been a while. Shut up. Anyway. No, I'm kidding. But my bad. Yeah. Well, you get the idea. Basically, it was a parody of that scene in Star Wars. Yeah, Anakin is Darth Vader. I'm sorry. I would watch the Star Wars movies, but they're just so boring to me. I'm sorry. But I apologize for fucking that up. Luke, I am your father. No! no! Yeah, the bloopers were on the VHS tape of Toy Story. Yeah, they were. I remember. There was a blooper that got removed in the recent re-releases. I didn't know that. I'm honestly shocked by the film's comedic timing and genius. Who isn't? Like, Toy Story 2 was just great. It was funny. It was heartwarming. It was like, it's just such a good movie. I love it. And I love the introduction of the character Jessie. And I liked how how the movie showed us her backstory instead of just telling us, which made empathizing with Jessie much more powerful. Like Jessie's backstory was handled pretty masterfully in the movie, and really embodies the timeless advice of show, don't tell in storytelling. And I love the song that plays during it. I even remembered it. I found myself like subconsciously remembering it because it was such a good song. It was sad, but it really captured the mood of Jessie's sad backstory perfectly. Like, who could forget about it? It's even playing in my head right now. There were just so many good scenes. I would love to talk about all of the scenes that I found memorable, but then we'd be here all day. So I'll try to keep it short and sweet. But really, this film just had so many good moments. Are there any negatives? I can't really think of any. I can't. I'm sorry, I just can't. Like, this is the film that is, in my opinion, the best one in the series. I can't think of any faults with it. I just can't. But yeah, all the new characters were great. All the old characters are great. All the new characters are great. Everyone was great. And I liked how Woody offered to let, Jessie and Bullseye and Stinky Pete come back with him so that, they don't get left behind without owners. But Stinky Pete was like, nah, I want to go to museum. Well, not like that, but that was basically his message. So he ends up becoming the antagonist of the series, other than the guy who owned Al's Toy Barn. Not the series, the movie, sorry. The antagonist of the movie. But yeah, Stinky Pete gets his comeuppance. So now he ended up being some little girl's plaything. Oh yeah, Miss Potato Head. Yeah, she's also a new character in this film. She was mentioned in the first film, but like at the end of the movie, because she like the toys found out that she was a present for Andy. So she was mentioned in the first movie, but she wasn't shown in it. But in the second movie and onward, she actually does appear in it as a member of the crew. Yeah, exactly. Like, which is kind of what I said earlier, but I didn't go too deep into it. Yeah, basically they reversed the roles for Woody and Buzz here, where Woody has to learn that he, at the end of the day, is a toy who's supposed to make a child happy, not some collector's item that's never going to be touched. And Buzz is like, Woody, you are a toy. You're not a collector's item. You're a child's plaything. So they reverse the roles there in a pretty clever way. And then Woody's like, oh my god, Buzz is right. I can't be doing this. But instead of just leaving behind his new friends, he asks them to come with him. So, yay, character developments. Oh, you have to leave, Galactic? Damn. Well, see you later. Thank you for coming. In the deleted reel, Woody was much more unlikable in the original version than he was in the final version. Have you seen it? I haven't. I haven't seen any of the deleted scenes. I was planning to, but then that would require, like, Like, I don't even think those are available on Disney Plus, or if they are, I haven't seen them. I wanted to get the the Blu-ray discs, like the 4K Blu-ray discs, so I could just. Well, I could technically have just looked up deleted scenes online. I didn't have to get discs for them, but whatever. But no, I haven't seen any of the deleted scenes, although I wish I had. Well, thankfully that wasn't in the original finished movie, as Maple said. But can you guys think of any negatives regarding any negatives for Toy Story 2? I can't think of any. I really can't, because it's just such a good film. Although I will be honest, like when I rewatched it recently, I didn't really reach the same level of happiness that I had when I watched it as a kid. I don't know. I guess I just kind of outgrew the nostalgia, but the nostalgia was still there. Yeah, normally changing scripts at the last second, it ends up being a disaster, but again, Pixar managed to make it work. They really they were kind of lucky with this one, but they were also pretty skilled enough, to make it work. So, yay. Remember Al? I don't want to. He was cringe, which made him a good character. He was supposed to be cringe. I I just don't want to remember him. The guy in the chicken suit. Okay. I don't think is there anything else I can say about the movie? I mean, it was funny, it was heartwarming, it was delightful, it was nostalgic. The story was great, the characters were great, the music was great. Like, really, everything about it was just so good. The voice acting was great. I mean, like seriously, what else can I say? It's just such a good movie all around. Like, Pixar, you guys knocked it out of the park. Disney does not deserve you guys. And that's all I'm gonna say. Disney does not deserve Pixar. Disney does not deserve them. Or really anyone. But that's beside the point. Pixar did it. Yeah, I remember the plane scene, with Woody and Jesse getting off the plane before it took off. Oh man, that was exciting and emotional. Like, yes, that I remembered. Like Woody managed to get Jesse to be brave enough to do a maneuver that would get them out off the plane safely. Because Jessie was having, second thoughts. She was like, oh no, we're not going to make it! And Woody's like, yes, we can! It's just like that unfinished episode of my old TV show. But it was cancelled! Well, then we're gonna make the ending ourselves. Or Woody said something along those lines. I don't remember what he said, but basically he was just trying to encourage Jessie to trust him. Oh yeah, the ending with Wheezy, the penguin squeak toy singing "You Got a Friend in Me." That shit was a bop, man. That was such a good rendition of the song. I loved it. You got a friend in me, yes you do. You got a friend in me, yes you do. You got a friend in me. Yes, let's go. Yeah, oh, and Buzz and Jessie end up becoming a couple. Because why not? I mean, it was sudden, but I didn't mind it. Because, I think they both make a good couple. So, yeah. Yeah, I can't think of any negatives either. It's just such a good film! And yeah, the ending song was a perfect way to tie everything up. Although, another thing that I found pretty sad about the film is that like that I found emotionally sad was that, you know, Woody's old TV show never got finished. Like it ended on a cliffhanger. Like it was pretty sad. And when you learn why his show was canceled, that was also pretty sad. That was pretty sad because Woody's show got canceled because you know, astronomy became a big thing, or whatever, like the space race. So, like, you know, kids started becoming less interested in cowboys and shit and more interested in space. So, yeah. So Woody's show just couldn't compete. You actually prefer 3 to 2, but albeit slightly. I'm surprised, because I prefer 2 to 3. Yeah, this might be Pixar's greatest movie, honestly. I don't know, I guess I've talked about everything. I mean, humor, animation, plots, voice acting. What else? Music. All of it was good for this movie. But yeah, Woody does go through character development He goes through character development in all of these movies, really. Especially in the first and fourth films. You think 3 has the best story? Honestly, in my opinion, I think 2 had the best story, but 3 is pretty close. But then again, you know, they're both good, so what does it matter? But 3 was a good film, a very good film, which I'll get to in a moment. I'll be right back, though. I want to get more cranberry juice. If 2 was about embracing the present life you have, then 3 is about embracing what the future has ahead for you and learning to let go of the past. Yes, yeah, I agree. That's basically the theme. Those are basically the themes of the film. And the first has a theme of, you know, not letting your jealousy get the best of you. You can share people. And that wasn't the only theme in the first film, but it was a big theme nonetheless. But yeah, Toy Story 2 overall a solid movie. Anyway, I will go ahead and do a black screen. I'll make the screen black again because I need to I need to find a picture for Toy Story 3. There are plenty of good ones here. I'm gonna pick one that makes him look all happy, because yeah. Ooh, this is a really good one. Let's just use this one. Okay, now Toy Story 3. Okay, now this one. Haha. Now this one's pretty ew. Hold on, sorry. Ew, no, I don't want I want it to be saved as a JPEG. .jpg. Okay, there. Okay, let me change this. Yeah, Toy Story 3 is quite emotional in more ways than one. Like, trust me, this movie gets dark as fuck. It is dark as fuck. If you like it's probably the darkest out of all the films, if I'm going to be honest. This one is just a really interesting film to talk about. It's very good, and I have quite a bit to say on it because it's just very dark. Not like extremely dark, but just very dark for Toy Story standards, you know. But basically, I'm going to try to summarize the plot as best as I can. Okay, so Andy's going off to college. So there's a huge time skip from the second film. Andy's going off to college. And Molly's, I think she's a teenager now, or a preteen or whatever. She's somewhere around age 12. So Andy's going out to college, and his mother wants him to clean up his room, so he does that. But then he sees his toys. Oh, and a few of the characters went away at some point during the film, between the period between the times, like during the time skip, I think. But most of the characters were still there, so Woody decides to take Andy decides to take Woody with him to college and leave all the other toys in the box to put in the attic. But unfortunately, his mother throws away his toys by accident, and Woody goes after them. Well, not throws them away. She puts them. Actually no. She does throw them away at first, but the toys manage to get out of the plastic trash bag, and then they find themselves, and then they jumped into a donation box that Andy's mom was taking to a nearby daycare, because they just didn't want to be left in the attic. So, and Woody was trying to talk them out of it, but then, unfortunately, Andy's mom closed the car door and then took them all there, so they all end up at the daycare, and they meet all the toys there along with the leader named Lotso. We'll talk about this piece of shit later. At first the place seems nice, but there's quite... Okay, it's kind of messed up because, see, there are two types of children at that daycare. The older kids and the younger kids. The older kids take care of their toys. You know, they play with them nicely, treat them well. Whereas the younger kids literally abuse the shit out of their toys. They bite into them. They throw them on the ground. They step on them. Like, they abuse the hell out of the toys. And unfortunately, everyone except Woody ended up having to experience the wrath of preschoolers. And it was just so uncomfortable to watch. Like, damn. Woody didn't experience any of that because he wanted to go home, so he did. Or at least he tried to. He was trying to tell everyone, hey, guys, you don't want to stay here. Let's go back to Andy. He wasn't trying to throw us away. But, the other toys were like, nah, bitch, he was. We're staying here. And Woody was like, okay, fine, fuck you. Well, not like that, obviously, but basically he was like, forget it, I'm out. And okay, so after that horrible incident with the preschoolers, Buzz was like, okay, I'm gonna go and talk to Lotso about this shit so we can get moved to the other side of daycare with the older kids. So he went and did that, but Lotso was like, okay, but only for you. Because he saw potential in Buzz Lightyear being one of his henchmen, and Buzz was like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to do it without my friends. Like, I don't want to be over here without my friends. So I'm gonna have to decline. And then Lotso basically ends up like basically capturing him and then resetting his programming or whatever so that he'd become the perfect henchman. And Lotso is basically fucked in the head. So, the other toys were like, let's just leave. Fuck this shit. But Lotso doesn't let them leave, so they all get imprisoned. And by Buzz, no less, because, Buzz had his programming tampered with. But fortunately, Woody... Okay, so Woody at one point accidentally, got taken away to Bonnie's house. This girl named Bonnie, she's an important character in the film and ends up becoming the new owner of the toys at the end of the film. He at one point got taken by Bonnie and went to her house. And he met some new toys there, Dolly the doll, Trixie the dinosaur, I think Freddy the clown or whatever his name was. But yeah, several different characters who are all good. They're all enjoyable. So he learns about them and about Lotso's backstory. Lotso's backstory is dark. Like, it's sad. It's sad. It's kind of like Jesse's, in that he was forgotten. He was literally just forgotten. But Jesse's backstory wasn't that dark though. So see, what happened to Jessie was that she was forgotten for years, so she ended up staying under her owner's bed for collecting dust for years, but then got donated. So whereas Lotso was not only like forgotten about, but he was literally left to just rot there. So fortunately Jesse managed to find friends, but Lotso not so much. he was literally just left out in the open at one point because like his owner forgot about him. And so he made it back to his owner's house along with the other two toys he was with. They were all forgotten. And unfortunately, the kid got a new Lotso toy. Oh yeah, Lotso's a purple bear who smells like strawberries, by the way. Like, he's in this picture here, if you already couldn't tell. And yeah, that made Lotso basically snap. But unfortunately, and here, like, let me actually put a bit of psychology into this. So, Okay, so I'm sorry to get technical here, but but I should mention this. So Lotso saw that he was replaced by his owner. Unfortunately, okay, so he tells the other two toys he was with to come with him so that they could find a new life elsewhere, but the other two toys didn't want to leave because. And Lotso was like, but the girl doesn't care about you guys anymore. But then they were like, no, Lotso, it was only you she replaced. We don't even know if she replaced us. But Lotso projected his feelings of abandonment onto them. So it was basically projection, which is a psychological term where you basically attribute your own faults and shortcomings or whatever onto other people as a sort of defense mechanism. So that's basically what Lotso was experiencing, projection. That he was projecting his feelings of abandonment onto the other toys, when it was really just him that was replaced. Although, who knows, maybe the kid replaced the other two toys, but we don't really know that, because Lotso never bothered to investigate it. But, yeah, that's basically projection. So yeah, in psychology, projection. Oh, move. In psychology, projection is. Wait, hold up. It was literally right here. Did I not click on the right film? Whatever. In psychology, projection refers to placing your own negative traits or unwanted emotions onto others, usually without reason. And that's exactly what Lotso did. So, yeah. So Lotso basically found Sunnyside Daycare, I think that's what it was called, and turned the place into... He basically made the place a living hell for toys. For all toys. He became the head honcho, and not in a good way. So... But fortunately, Woody goes back to the daycare to rescue his friends, and they're about to escape, but unfortunately Lotso and his goons catch up. But then fortunately Lotso's goons end up, turning against Lotso after Lotso unwittingly reveals his true colors towards them, where he basically just tells them that they're worthless without him or whatever, especially the baby henchman. And I was like, you asshole, how dare you mistreat your own henchman like that? So yeah, basically, his henchmen are like, nah, fuck you, bitch. And but the toys were about to get thrown. Woody and the gang were about to get thrown into the garbage for a truck to pick up so that they could so that the truck could take them to a landfill. But they were all about to escape, but unfortunately Lotso grabbed Woody and then dragged him into the dumpster, and then the other toys tried to go after him, but then they all end up getting picked up by the truck, and then they're all just trying to they all get taken to this landfill, and then they get taken into this area where they're about to be not just mashed and crushed, but also incinerated. They managed to escape being mashed and crushed, and they even help Lotso, who was with them at the time, of course. But just before they got to the incinerator, they tried going back the other way, but then Lotso saw that there was an escape route up there, and he asked Woody and Buzz to help him get up there, and there was a button that could have literally stopped the belts from moving towards the incinerator. Lotso could have pressed it, but he didn't. He basically said "fuck you" to the toys and then left, and then they're all like, "Nani?" No, not like that, obviously, but basically, yeah, they were begging for him to press it, but then he was like, "Bye, bitch. See how much your kid loves you now." And yeah, so they all start moving towards the incinerator, unfortunately. At first they try to run away, but then they realize that there really is no escape. And this is where the movie gets really fucking dark. If you thought it was dark before, no, it damn, this is probably the darkest, lowest point in the movie, where the others just hold hands and then accept their fate of being incinerated. And it was just, when I saw that, like, it broke my heart. Like, that was just so intense. Like, oh damn, they're all about to die. And they're all like, you know what? If we're gonna die, let's just do it together. Like, it was just so heartbreaking. Unfortunately, the three little aliens that consider themselves Mr. Potato Head's children, they fortunately saved the day by grabbing all the toys with the mechanical claw and then taking them to another place. And I was like, y'all coming in with that clutch? Let's go! And I think I remember in the theaters, everyone literally clapped when that happened. I'm not joking. Me too. I was clapping too. I was like, yes, let's go. They ain't gonna die today, bitch. Let's go. Oh damn. Sorry. Sorry. This movie is making me emotional, but damn. So, man. So the toys managed to escape. They're not dead, thankfully. Most of them want to tear Lotso to pieces, and rightfully so. But Woody's like, forget it. That guy's not worth it. Oh, and yeah, Lotso does get his comeuppance. He collided a truck. Like, he got like someone driving a truck or whatever finds him and literally pins him to the front of the truck. So he gonna get dirty. But yeah. But yeah, Lotso does get his comeuppance. So, here, I'm gonna just... Hold up. Let me see if I can... Where is this? Okay, I'm gonna just exit this bitch out. Like, fuck him. Fuck you, Lotso. I'm gonna just... Oop, shit. Damn. Oh, damn. I meant to control the thickness of the line. Let's see. Nah, damn. Okay. Okay. Ah, damn. Line. Okay, I want to change the thickness of the line. Can I do that? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna just exit this bitch. I'm just X this bitch out. And okay, I'm gonna just do that too. Fuck you. Fuck this damn bear. He can kiss my ass. Okay. There. Let's just okay, there we go. Alright. Okay. Anyway, that looks better. So, I'm so petty, but but yeah, all the toys escape with their lives, and then they all go back to. They all manage to make their way back to Andy's house by hitching a ride onto a truck. I can't remember, but they go back to Andy's house, and just before Andy is about to leave for college. And originally Woody was just going to like go off to college with Andy and then have the toys just move to the attic, but then he was like, nah, why don't we all just let's all go to Bonnie's house instead. So Woody writes a note, he faked a note, he wrote a note that basically made it look like Andy's mom was telling Andy to like donate his toys to someone else. And so Andy did just that. He went over to Bonnie's house and donated his toys to her. Even Woody. At first he hesitated in giving Woody to Bonnie because Woody originally wasn't supposed to be there, but then Andy was like, nah, he's better off with you. And so Bonnie embraces her new toys and yeah, that's... Oh yeah, and Andy plays with the toys and with Bonnie one last time before going away, so... But yeah, Bonnie accepts all her new toys, and then Woody and the others watch Andy drive off, and then they go and introduce themselves to the other toys, so... Yeah. Basically. But yeah, that's basically the movie, so... Okay, now I shall read the chat. That note was Bonnie's address, by the way. Oh, right. Okay, let me go back and read the chat. So, I did remember that there were complaints by parents at the time that this movie was too dark and scary for young kids. They can piss off. The movie's not that dark. It's dark. It's quite dark for Toy Story standards, but not to the point of, like, oh shit, kids shouldn't watch this. No, come on, fam. Come on. I remember watching this movie with, I believe it was my cousin Stephanie and her sisters. I think, how old was I at the time? Was it 16? Was I 16? I think I was 16. I honestly can't even remember. Yeah, I was 16 when this movie came out. But somewhere around that age. But yeah, I do remember watching it. Or I think it was just with my cousin Stephanie and my brother and sister and my dad, actually. I don't remember. But Stephanie was among one of the people I watched the movie with, so. Anyway. But yeah, like, it was, yeah, Toy Story 3, definitely an emotional roller coaster from start to finish. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to go back and read all these. Comments, mostly by Maple, because Maple made some good points here and there. Okay, Lotso, aka the best villain in the franchise. I agree that he was the best villain. This movie is basically like two different movies. The first half is basically a nice coming-of-age story about learning to move on to the next chapter of your life, and the second half is basically a full-on Prison Break movie. Yeah, and that's fine. Like, that's fine. Like, it's not, like, I know you're not saying that it's not fine, but, like, I must say for the record that it's fine because, you know, movies can sometimes change direction like that, and that's fine as long as it doesn't, doesn't ruin the overall theme or consistency of the movie. Because there are movies that try to do that, but then they fail and you end up feeling like it's just two different movies and that they just don't form a cohesive whole. Like, well, actually no, The Secret Life of Pets 2 is not a good example because that one just has three different plot lines going on all at once. But anyway, but yeah, my point is that it's okay for movies to change direction as long as it doesn't harm the narrative, then it's fine. Yeah, like, again, when the toys accepted their fate and that, that they were going to get burned to death, like, damn, that was just so, damn, like, that hit me hard. But then the aliens somehow saved them. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but who cares? I did not want my toys to die. I mean, Pixar wasn't gonna let them die, obviously. Like, come on. It's Woody and the gang. You can't, they're not gonna die. But, I mean, still, the build-up was just so intense. I actually like that Lotso didn't change and save them there. It would have been quite forced if they tried to give a redemption arc after all he's done. Yeah, I didn't mind it either. Like, I was fine with Lotso just basically abandoning them. I made it sound like I wasn't fine with it, but I was. Like, Lotso's a good villain. I didn't like him as a character, but that's okay. He's not supposed to be likable. Like, he was written just fine. That note was Bonnie's address. Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, Woody memorized it at one point. Because he was trying to get from there to the daycare. But, yeah. The post-credit scenes were dope. Yeah, they were. The Toy Story movies have good post-credit scenes. Well, except for Lightyear, but we'll get to that later. The dance between Buzz and Jessie was really cute. It was. It was. It was. It was. I remember the computer scene with Trixie and Rex, right? It's like they're bonding. They're both into games, and they're both dinosaurs. They're bonding. Rex is gonna get some dino pussy! But anyway. I'm sorry, that was tasteless of me, but anyway. But yeah, overall good movie. Very emotional. Probably like the most emotional one out of all of them, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, that one was just dark as hell. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with dark movies. I'm fine with dark material in general. Like, not everything has to be happy and lighthearted. I'm fine with happy and lighthearted, but I'm also fine with, serious and dark. I honestly don't remember the post-credit scenes for Lightyear. There weren't that many, but they were just kind of... Like, there's one where... Well, I'll get to that later. But generally, they just weren't very good. Yeah, this movie was also the most epic of all of them and the one with the biggest stakes. It was. It was. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. So if you're wondering who runs the Sunnyside daycare now, that's Barbie and Ken. Yeah, they both run the daycare now. They both run the daycare now. And it's a much happier place. Granted, there are still the preschoolers still abuse some of the toys, but they managed to work through it. Because somebody has to play with the preschoolers, so it might as well be the toys that are the most durable or whatever. So they're just like, we can deal with it. Although, I'm not sure why the daycare even lets the children play with those toys, because they get smashed and shit. Like, why not give them more durable toys? That's something that's never made sense to me in the film. Like, just, why would the daycare attendants let young children play with such toys? Especially since they could even choke on some of the toys. I don't know. It didn't make a lot of sense, but... Then again, the movie's plot would have suffered without that part, so whatever. One of Tom Hanks' best performances is Woody. I agree. Woody was definitely Tom Hanks was definitely really good here. This was probably his most emotional role out of all the movies. With Toy Story 2 coming at second place, and Toy Story 3 and 1 probably coming in at third, in my opinion. But really, like, he's great in all the films. I thought Zurg was in Toy Story 2. I don't think it was in Toy Story 3 at all. I don't remember seeing Zurg in Toy Story 3. I guess because it's a daycare and they mostly just take toys that are donated to them. I guess so. They probably didn't have a lot of other toys for the kids to play with, so they're like, fuck it, let's just let them play with these. But damn, like, the children, like, just abusing the toys, holy shit. I was like, that's awful. Like, one child literally had, like, Mr. Potato Head's body parts shoved up all in his face, like his nose and his mouth and shit, and I was like, ew. Oh, Zurg was in the post-credit scene. He got donated to daycare. Oh, I didn't even notice that. How did I not notice that? I literally did not notice that. But yeah, Barbie and Ken run the daycare now, so. And it's happier there. It's a much happier place. Oh yeah, and I forgot, the army men that Andy used to have, they left Andy's room. They said goodbye to Woody and the others. They left Andy's room and made their way to Sunnyside Daycare. And Barbie and Ken welcomed them in with open arms, so yay. But yeah, really solid movie all around. Like, I like 1 and 2 more, but 3 was definitely great. It was great. It was great. It was dark, but who cares? It's okay for kids' movies to be dark at times. Kung Fu Panda 2 was dark. How to Train Your Dragon 2 was dark. Who cares? Shrek Forever After was fairly dark. Again, who cares? As long as it doesn't get to an extreme degree, then who cares? Yeah, Barbie was a pretty cool character in this one. Ken as well. I actually liked both of them here. But yeah, really, this movie had a solid cast of characters all around. From the villains to the heroes to the in-betweens. There really weren't any in-betweens. Well, there were technically if you count Dolly and her friends. Because they were neither heroes nor villains. They were literally just... They were just Bonnie's toys. But anyway. But yeah, really, really good movie. The characters were great. The music was great. The animation was great. Even better than the second. Like, the animation quality increases with each movie. So, the first had good but slightly dated animation. The second had great animation. The third had really great animation. And as you'll see, the fourth movie has even better animation than the third. But the third had really good animation. That still looks good to this day. Ken is voiced by Chick Hicks, by the way. The more you know. But yeah, the humor was also good. Again, not a lot of it, but the jokes usually landed. I'd probably say that Toy Story 4 had the most humor out of all of them. But Toy Story 3 had good humor. Okay, anything else? I talked about the characters, the music, the animation. The plot was also pretty good. It definitely dealt with themes of abandonment. More so than the second, actually. The second had themes of abandonment as well, but the third went and turned that shit up to 11. With Lotso, I was like, damn, Lotso is just fucked in the head. He was normally because he used to be a happy and friendly guy, but after he got abandoned by his owner, oh shit, damn, I felt bad for him. Like, I'm like, oh, poor thing. But it made him into a horrible person. It's like the poor thing. But at the same time, you just want to give him a big middle finger because of what he did to Woody and the others. But that's okay. I mean, he was a villain for a reason. Anyway. Anything else I can mention? I think I've talked about everything. But yeah, the plot was hardcore. Lotso was like Tails in Sonic Forces. He just lost it. Damn. Oh my god. That actually got a laugh out of me. I feel like I shouldn't be laughing this hard, but I am. I don't know, because it was just such a stupid line in Sonic Forces. Let's also give a big shout out to the monkey. Oh yeah, the monkey character. I actually like the monkey character. The one who watched everything. Watched all the security cameras and shit. Like, he was actually funny. The monkey. I also like the telephone character, who wanted to help Woody and the others, but he ended up getting caught by Lotso. So sad face. But he's fine now. He got repaired. Lotso messed him up, but he got repaired. But yeah, really good characters all around. Good plots, good music, good animation, good humor. Really, like really, this film was just very good. But I like 1 and 2 more. I don't know why. I just do. I'm sorry, but to me, nothing surpasses 2 in this series. It just doesn't. But 1 and 3 are very close seconds. 4, we'll get to that in a moment. That monkey character scares the crap out of me even to this very day. Yeah, I can see why. Like, he's meant to be, unsettling. Because, again, those eyes, they stare right into your soul. They stare right through you. Although I do wonder if he was watching when Buzz first escaped the room. I wonder why the alarm didn't go off there. Yeah, why didn't he notice that? I feel like that was an oversight on the writer's part because the monkey wasn't introduced until after that point. And I guess the writers forgot to, like, you know, incorporate the monkey's character a little earlier. Although I guess that explains how the baby found out. Like, the baby found out where Buzz went. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I'm guessing that's how the baby found out. I guess the monkey was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go tell the baby," but it's never shown on. It wasn't shown on screen, so maybe that's how. Even scarier than the monkey in Chris's Closet and Family Guy, right? Who was actually a nice guy in the end. He just didn't know how to talk to Chris. I didn't know your mom had that, Thomas. I mean, your aunt, sorry. But, you know, it's just whatever. It's just whatever. I like, just whatever, you know? But anyway... But yeah, I think that's all I can say about the third film. Solid all around. But I like 1 and 2 more. I guess we can go on to 4. In any case, one moment. Like, everybody literally pirated this movie. I'm trying to find out what the best picture to post would be. I'll do this one. Yeah, this one's good. Okay. I'm just, you know, resizing the picture. Ooh, let's fix that. Okay, there we go. Alright. Toy Story 4. Alright, the film that has an ending that people really didn't like. But, anyway, here, let me check the chat really fast. They really should allow people to, you know, edit YouTube comments on live streams, but I guess that's asking for too much from a company that keeps fucking changing its layout. But anyway. Oh, hi, Bluey. I'm blue, double D, double die, double D, double down, double D, double die. Now on to the sequel that came out 9 years later. Toy Story 4! Okay, this film. Alright. Okay. Okay, where do I start with this one? Now, full disclaimer, I like this movie. but I think it's the weakest one in the series, in my opinion. Not including Lightyear. Uh, I mean, I still liked it. I still think it's good. I just, I just find it the weakest one in the series. I'm sorry, but the first three just were just better, in my opinion. They were just better. But this one's still good. It's still good. Now, I'm going to say that this movie was not necessary. It wasn't needed. The series could have just stopped with 3. I'm not wrong. But here's the thing. This movie may not have been necessary, but that's okay. It's okay. Because we still got a good movie, didn't we? Not every movie has to be necessary. As long as it's good, who cares? Sometimes it's nice to have a little extra, you know? So even though this movie wasn't necessary, at least in my opinion, I still think it's fine. I still didn't mind it. I didn't mind having it. It wasn't necessary in my opinion, but I didn't mind having it. So yeah. But anyway. But yeah, literally there's nowhere to go after this one. There's no Pixar, don't make another one, please. Disney, do not encourage them or force them to make another one. Do not. For unnecessary sequels, you can do better, but you could also do far worse. Yeah, exactly. Like, this film could have been better, but trust me, it is not that. It's not bad. It's not that bad. It's not even bad at all. I'd say it's good, or at the very least decent. So, basically the story revolves around Woody's inability to get over his owner, Andy. Because, you know, that's something that he's been struggling with since the 3rd film, actually. But here, that issue finally gets fully addressed. So, okay, so, you know, Bonnie, I can't remember how many years have passed since the 3rd film. I think it was at least 1 year. I don't remember, but yeah. Bonnie's in, what was it, for kindergarten now? Yeah. So, you know, at first she doesn't want to go because, you know, she finds it scary, and at first she doesn't really do a good job of socializing with the other kids. But she makes a toy, like, during that class, and that toy's name is Forky, who's literally a spork. So literally just a spork with googly eyes and whatever those twist tubes, whatever the fuck those things are called, I don't remember, tied to him. Oh, and popsicle sticks and shit. Yeah, he's a toy Bonnie made herself. At first, he doesn't want to be Bonnie's toy. He wants to be trash instead, which makes sense because he was made from trash. And Woody's like, no, you are Bonnie's toy. You are not trash. You are a toy. But then, but you know, throughout the movie, but like early in the movie, Forky eventually accepts his role as Bonnie's toy after having a nice talk with Woody. After they both get separated by Bonnie from Bonnie. So, yeah, because Bonnie and her parents went on a road trip. They decided to go on a road trip. But yeah. So, I mean, Woody and Forky, they're about to head back to Bonnie's RV, but then Woody sees Bo Peep's lamp in the antique store, and he decides to go and look for her in there. But then he and Forky get caught by this doll. I think her name was Gabby, and she wanted Woody's voice box because her own was defective. So she's about to like take it from him by force, but fortunately, I forgot how they somehow Woody escapes, but Forky stays there. and Woody has to go back and save him. But oh yeah, right. When like the granddaughter of the shop owner found Woody there and took him away. And she took him to some park where he got out, and then he reunited with Bo. Wow, Bo kicks ass in this movie. I forgot to mention Bo. Okay, she got a major glow up in this movie. She kicks ass. She like, if you thought she was just dainty and helpless before, nah, bitch, you do not know this. You do not know Bo. No, she kicks ass in this film. She went from being passive to to outright ass kicking, and I love it. Oh, the movie takes place 2 years after 3. Okay, thank you. I knew it was at least a year, but anyway. But yeah, so they reunite, and Bo, Woody asks Bo to help get Forky back from the antique store. Bo at first is like, no, but then Woody manages to convince her to help, and so they go and help, but, you know, Woody fucks shit up by not listening to Bo's instructions during the entire thing, and so that just causes more chaos. But fortunately, it causes more chaos, and then Woody and the others, well, they were able to escape, but unfortunately, Forky was still stuck in there. So Woody went back and just gave himself up for Forky. So Gabby ended up getting his voice box, and then she was like, "Oh my god! Now I finally get to be taken by a young girl." And so she tried it on the she activated her voice box near the shop owner's daughter, and the shop owner took notice of her. And then at first the daughter seemed interested in the toy, the granddaughter, I mean, but then she was like, and then just threw Gabby into a box. That was like, oh shit, damn, oh shit. I actually kind of felt bad for her because she just wanted to be owned again. Like, she just wanted to find an owner. I mean, she was never owned. Sorry, but she wanted to have an owner, and you know, she didn't get one at first. And so Woody, being the awesome, selfless guy that he is, goes and comforts her and tries to help her find a new owner. At first, he was going to take her to Bonnie, but then Gabby saw that some other girl was lost at the carnival nearby. So Gabby decided to just give her to be that girl's owner instead, and that girl actually appreciated Gabby. So Gabby found a new owner. Yay! But yeah, Gabby was technically the villain of this story. But you know, you can see where she was coming from, because she wanted Woody's voice box and she was going to take it by force, but then she managed to get through to him. She was like, "Please, I just want to experience what you have had, please." And Woody was like, "Okay, you can have my voice box, but only if you let Forky go." And so the transplant was done. Yeah, like the thing about Gabby is that she was technically the antagonist, but at the same time, you know, she didn't do what she did because, you know, just for the hell of it or whatever. She did it because, you know, she just wanted to have what Woody had. And in the end, she got it. And Woody was just Woody was selfless enough to give up the voice box just to get Forky back. And even after the way Gabby treated Woody still helped her find a new owner, which just shows to how awesome Woody was. And Gabby got a redemption as well. Like, she was going to go to Bonnie, but then she was like, "No, there's someone else who needs me more." Which was very noble of her. So Gabby got redemption. Lotso didn't get one, but that's okay. He didn't really need one. Gabby got one. So she was more like she was the I guess you could argue in a way she was more sympathetic than Lotso. So yeah, she got redemption there. Not that Lotso wasn't sympathetic. He was, but Gabby was far less of an asshole than he was. Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, Gabby goes home to a new owner. Woody and Forky finally make it back to Bonnie's RV. Oh, and then there's this part that everyone fucking hates. Oh, not everyone, but a lot of people hated this part. So at first, Woody was going to leave Bo and the other toys behind. Yeah, Bo had a group of friends and acquaintances at the carnival area. Woody was going to leave Bo and the others behind, but then, okay, so as I said, the conflict of this film was that Woody couldn't let go of his owners, Bonnie and Andy. He basically kept obsessing over them. So, and Bo called him out on it at one point. She was like, "Fam, you," and even Forky makes a jab at him at one point, like while talking to Gabby, where she's like, where he's like, "Well, Woody used to have this kid named Andy. I don't think he's ever gotten over him." So the film is so like Bo tells Woody at one point, "Woody, you need to get over Andy. You can't keep holding on to him like this." And Woody at one point realizes that Bo was right, so he was like, "You know what? I'm just kind of tired of this life. I want to live the life Bo has." Like, because Woody has spent so much time playing others before himself, but he had never, gotten a chance to do what he wanted, to do something for himself. And Toy Story 4 was like, "Fuck it, Woody, go and do what you want." So he went and stayed with Bo, and he just lives a life with her. Which I found, at first I was disappointed, but now I was like, nah, you know what, this is fine. This is fine. Woody deserves a chance of happiness himself. Let him have some happiness for himself. It's okay for him to go after his own interests for once. It doesn't always have to be other toys first. Oh yeah, and before Woody leaves, he makes Jesse the new sheriff, which works out because Bonnie started treating Jesse as the new sheriff anyway, and she was kind of losing interest in Woody earlier in the film, so it works out. But yeah, a lot of people didn't like that Woody basically said goodbye to all the other toys, but guys, let Woody have his chance of happiness. Plus, if Woody had gone back with the others, then the whole movie would have basically been for nothing. Nothing would have changed. So, let Woody have a life of his own for once, please. Because honestly, it was bad for him anyway, because again, Bonnie was literally just starting to forget he existed. So he was like, you know what? I'm just tired of this life. I'm gonna go and live something else. And yeah, as Maple said in the chat, and I'm glad he brought that up, Woody wasn't doing it just for himself, staying with Bo. He was also helping her help toys find new owners, which is a noble thing for him and Bo and the others to do. So Woody was like, you know what? I'm going to help toys find other owners, just as I did with Gabby. So that's the life he's living now. Plus, he gets to see the world and shit, so why not? And if you're wondering why Bo... Okay, so I should probably mention what happened to Bo at the beginning of this film. So, at one point in the film, at the very beginning, Bo was taken away from I forgot. This was actually, this was before the fourth the events of the fourth film took place. So there was a flashback scene where Bo was seen being taken away from Molly's room. Molly, Andy's sister. She was going to be taken somewhere else. That being the antique shop. But then, she was tired of just staying there, so she was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm tired of being the shelved toy. I'm gonna just go and live the life I want. And that's exactly what she did. So she took her sheep and left that store and met a bunch of other toys, and basically just lives in that carnival area. But there was a flashback scene showing like her being taken away from Andy's house. Yeah, honestly, I never understood why people had so much of a problem with the ending of Toy Story 4. Like, guys, like Woody, it's fine. Like, let Woody have his chance of happiness. I mean, yeah, he was definitely gonna miss his friends. It's not like he said, "Bye, guys, later. Not gonna miss you." No, it was still a heartfelt goodbye. Although it was a short one because they didn't really have a lot of time to talk. But like, come on, guys. Let Woody have his own chance of happiness. Besides, again, he wasn't going to be played much anyway. So what was the point of going back to Bonnie's house? He needed to let go of his past, and he did exactly that. Of course, Bonnie was probably going to be sad, but like, she got over it. So like, it's fine. Oh yeah, and I forgot, a new toy joins the whole crew at the end of the movie. Basically another sport toy. I forgot what her name was, but Jessie introduced her to the others, and she basically ends up becoming, or at least I assume she'll end up becoming Forky's girlfriend or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, Maple. Woody stayed because Andy needed him. He leaves in the end because Bonnie does not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because throughout the film, Bonnie was not really showing a lot of interest in Woody. She just wasn't. She just wasn't. I mean, she played with him sometimes, but like, there were times where she'd literally forget that he existed. And as I said, she started playing with Jessie more often than Woody. So, really, Bonnie just didn't need Woody. Which I found a little weird because at first Bonnie was really attached to Woody, like at the end of the third film, but I guess other toys just caught her interest. That's just how it is sometimes, other toys just get more attention. That opening scene also did a great job of showing Woody's conflict in the movie, choosing between his owner and Bo. Yeah, because Woody was originally going to like go with Bo when she was being taken away, but then he was like, "No, Andy needs me," so he stayed. But then years later, he was like, "You know what, Bo? I'm gonna come with you. Bonnie doesn't really need me. She'll be just as trash as him, right? Just as trash as Forky." But yeah, like I can understand people being sad about the ending. That's fine. I'm not saying you can't feel sad about it. It's a valid reaction. But guys, really, it was the best option for Woody at that point. But yeah, really, the conflict revolves around Woody. The other toys don't really get a lot of focus. Buzz did get... Oh, I forgot. Buzz was also kind of important in this movie. Kind of. Like, at one point he leaves the RV to look for Woody and Forky. But yeah, like... And throughout the movie, he learns what a conscience... He starts learning what a conscience is. The inner voice inside you that tells you right from wrong or whatever. Because at first Buzz did not understand what the fuck that was. But then, at the end, he eventually understood the concept. I did also remember a mild controversy of this movie due to a scene at the school with two lesbian moms meeting with their kid after school. But it's honestly such a blink and you miss a scene that I didn't even notice it until it was brought up. I didn't notice it either. There was a scene like that in Lightyear as well. And it wasn't a blink and you miss it scene, although it was still very short. But Guys, who the fuck cares? It's okay for there to be LGBT representation. It's okay for there to be queer representation. It's not going to kill you. It's not hurting anybody. God, it's just hard to find this kind of content nowadays because everyone will literally piss their pants over it or some shit like that. It's just annoying. Like, guys, calm the fuck down. It was literally a split second long, and people still complained about it. Like, it wasn't like these scenes are very short, and people are like, "Ew, no, we don't want that shit here." Like, shut the fuck up. Was there a scene like that in Finding Dory? I honestly don't remember. I watched the movie, but I did not remember seeing a scene like that. If there was one, then I missed it or forgot about it. But like, who cares? Two women are in love. Who cares? Two men are in love. Who cares? Who cares? Like, who the fuck cares? Yeah, those adults act like babies with LGBTQ material. That's why we can never get any nowadays. Like, we just can't get any because of shit like this. Like, there was this one scene of the PBS kids show Arthur where Mr. Ratburn got married to a guy, but it was like a 5-second scene. And people literally got pissed over it. I'm like, guys, get the fuck over yourselves. Whatever. Like, just what the fuck ever. It's whatever. I'm trying not to sound derogatory here, but but like this is the kind of shit that can literally get stuff canceled or heavily edited, and it just annoys the hell out of me. Just stop. It's just so annoying. I don't know. But, yeah. Going back to Toy Story 4, I did say it was the weakest one. Well, for one thing, the humor is good. It's definitely funny. I'd say it was pretty funny. But, yeah, like... From what I've seen, kids usually take this stuff just fine, but adults freak out over it, right? Kids don't care. Like, watch Steven Universe. There's plenty of LGBTQ representation there. Kids don't give a shit. They don't. They don't care. Why would they? Because that's the thing about kids. They don't care about this shit. They don't see gender or sexuality or race or class or anything like that. They see other people. That's it. They see people. That's how things should be. You see people. You don't see gender or sexuality or race or class or anything else like that. You just see people. Yet adults have a hard time doing that for some reason. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And it's really infuriating. Except for that repetitive inner voice joke with Buzz. That got annoying real quick. Fair enough. Fair enough. I personally didn't mind it, but I can see why some people would find it annoying. But yeah, the humor was overall pretty good. And here, let me go back to this window. Shapes. Ooh, let's draw a circle. So these two characters right here. Ooh, no, I don't want this to be filled in. No, don't fill this in. Damn, no. How do I don't want to fill it in. No solid. Oh, transparent. There we go. Okay. Okay, so these two... Yeah, let me see if I can fix this. Oh, damn. Nah! Oh, well, whatever. So these two characters here, the Duck and Bunny characters, they were kind of funny. They had some funny scenes, although, to be honest, they kind of got annoying as the movie went on because like some of their jokes were a bit overdone. Like they kept having this gag of wanting to attack humans. It was funny at first, but then it kind of got annoying. So like I was at one point I was like, okay, we get it. They're violent. You don't need to keep reminding me. And yeah, I agree. Buzz did feel like an afterthought in this movie. Like, that's why I said he was kind of important. Kind of important. Because really, he's not really all that important. He's kind of important, but at the same time, you know, the movie didn't do much with him. So, yeah. Yeah, and honestly, Jesse is even less important than Buzz. Jesse barely did anything. So like, if Buzz and Jesse aren't important, then the other toys are definitely just they just didn't do anything. I don't even know why the other toys came. It literally could have just been Woody, Bo, Buzz, and Jesse and Forky. That's it. Literally, the others did not need to be there. Like, it could have just been those five. Oh, I'm sorry, and Bo's friends as well. So, not including Bo's friends, it literally could have just been those five. They were definitely... The Duck and the Bunny were definitely better than I thought they would be. They annoyed the hell out of me in the previews. But the running gag with the keys was pretty funny. It was. But, yeah, the humor, definitely good. I laughed... This movie probably made me laugh the most out of all the Toy Story films, I'm not gonna lie. With Toy Story 2 probably coming in at a close second. So, yeah, Toy Story 4, definitely a funny film. But yeah, basically, my biggest complaint with the film is that there like, a lot of the original cast was present, but they didn't do much. Literally, like, Jessie did do something important in the film, but that's literally it. She did just that one thing, and then that was it for her character. Oh yeah, and she also introduces the Forky's girlfriend at the end of the film, that too. But those are like the only two things she did. She didn't do anything else in the film. So yeah, like, that's probably my biggest complaint as well with the film. The side characters themselves didn't really matter all that much. Buzz didn't matter. Jessie mattered even less, and the other toys mattered even less than Jessie did. And it was really just Woody and Bo. That's it. Woody, Bo, and Forky. That's really it. Now, yeah, like, Maple brings up a fair point. This movie wasn't necessarily about the other toys, but then again, neither was Toy Story 2, yet the side characters still had plenty to do in that film. But here, literally, there was nothing for them to do. Which makes me wonder why they were all brought. Like, literally, Bonnie could have just brought only a few toys and that was it. But whatever. I do understand why you couldn't do much with Mr. Potato Head, though, since his voice actor died and they just played old voice clips. I didn't even know that. I did not know that his voice actor died. But yeah, the gag with the key was funny. And like... And like, the way they got it was just so stupid. Like, the shop owner literally just dropped it right in front of them. I was like, oh, I guess that's one way to get the keys. They were literally about to just do some sort of complicated plan, but then the keys literally just appeared right in front of them, and they were like, oh, okay. But yeah, the new toys were entertaining, you're right. Duke Kaboom was entertaining. What was her name? Giggle? I forgot. The small police cop toy, whatever. She was pretty entertaining. The Duck and Bunny were entertaining. So yeah, all the new toys were entertaining. They were all good characters, in my opinion. Bo was entertaining. Her sheep were entertaining. The voice actors for Miss Potato Head also died too. Damn! Damn, makes well why like it makes me wonder why they were even brought there in the first place. You could have just cut them out. Like Pixar could have just cut them out. Like really, all Bonnie had to do was bring Woody, Buzz, Jesse, and Forky. That's it. No one else did anything important. Although honestly, Buzz and Jesse could have been cut out too. It literally could have just been Woody and Forky. It literally could have just been those two. Buzz and Jesse are just I mean they did do a few important things, but then that was literally it for their characters. So if they don't matter, then the other toys really don't matter. Oh, not before this movie, but later on she did. Oh, okay. So the voice actress for Mrs. Patelhead didn't die before this movie. Okay, okay. Oh, it's okay. Maple got it. Anime kid, don't worry. I really am getting tired of these spam bots, though. Okay. Anything else I can say? So we have a large cast of irrelevant characters. That's definitely one of the complaints I have for this movie. Anything else? I feel like there are other complaints, but I just can't quite voice my... I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I already said that the movie was unnecessary, but that's not really necessarily a complaint. So... Because again, even if a movie's unnecessary, it can still be good. But if it's neither good nor necessary, then... Stop. Just stop. Just don't make a movie like that again. Forky felt forgotten for a good portion of the second act. Yeah, that's the thing. Despite Forky being basically the new character, he was forgotten for like half the movie, largely. Because again, it was mostly about Woody. That's the thing about this movie. Woody just gets a like I'm fine with Woody getting some focus, but to me it seems like he got most of the focus in this film, which kind of hurts the other characters. Like in Toy Story 2, Woody was quite important in that film, but not to the point of overshadowing all the other characters. Whereas in this one, that's basically what happened. Like, if the movie wanted to focus on Woody so much, it really shouldn't have brought in all the other side characters to do it. Like, just it could have just left a lot of the side characters behind, and this film would have been much better for it. Like, I'm fine with the film focusing on Woody. It's just that, like, why even bring the other side characters here if you're not going to do anything with them? And honestly, it kind of feels like Forky was just there to have a reason for Woody to do something. Like, because Woody needed something to do. So it's like, okay, here, Forky. It's like, here, let's just put in Forky. No, I'm kidding. No, I don't think Forky's character is that shallow. His role, I mean. But really, he should have had more focus. Okay. Well, anyway, let me just take this circle off. Okay. Are there any other negatives? Okay, so basically the lack of use of the side characters is one of them. Anything else? The music is still great, but some of it felt like rehashes of the previous tracks of the series. Honestly, I don't even remember the music all that well in this one. I don't even remember it. But you could be right though, because out of all the movies, this one probably had like the least memorable soundtrack in my opinion. I don't know. But, but yeah, like, the music was still great, as she pointed out, so yeah. Are there any other negatives regarding this film? I guess really the only weakest points of the movie are just the lack of focus on the side characters, and um and some of the rehashed music. But otherwise, it was still a good film. Although there are people that don't like it, and that's fair. I liked it, but I can see why people don't like it. I'm not going to say that people don't have valid reasons to dislike it, because they do. But yeah, it's a win-win for both the lovers and haters of it. Yeah, exactly, Maple. If you love it, then you get another great Toy Story movie. If you hate it, then you can just pretend that 3 was the last one. Yep. Yep, pretty much. That's pretty much how I feel about the movie. See, if the movie had just allocated its characters better, if it had just used its characters better, then then um then the plot would have been better, because the plot itself is fine. It's just that it's lacking in some areas. 3 was the end of Andy's story. 4 was the end of Woody's. That's actually a perfect way of describing these two movies. 3 was the end of Andy's story. 4 was the end of Woody's story, basically. I'm guessing Pixar. I feel like Pixar knew that this movie wasn't necessary, but they just wanted to give Woody himself a satisfying conclusion, which I'm fine with. But the plot could have been better. But overall, it was still a solid movie. The weakest out of the 4 films. I don't think anyone's going to argue with me on that. But there are plenty of people who like it. There are plenty of people who don't. Either way, I'd say it's still a good film. Yeah, I wouldn't have cried myself to sleep if it had never gotten made. Like, if it hadn't been made, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't care all that much. I wouldn't mind or whatever, because again, it really wasn't all that necessary. But it was good. We got a good movie out of it, so hell, why not? But if the movie, but if the movie didn't exist, then I really wouldn't be shedding any tears either. But that's Toy Story 4. I would only be open to more movies that if they involved new characters with new owners. Same. You can even make them spin-offs. They don't have to be main films. If they do make another movie, I hope it's a spin-off, because really we don't really need any more Toy Story films. Like, Toy Story 4 was a welcome addition for me, but I really don't want another Toy Story film. I feel like 5, if they make another one, it's just going to be crappy. Relatively speaking, anyway. So, yeah, that we don't need another Toy Story film. I'm only allowing one unnecessary film. We don't need another. But yeah, that is Toy Story 4. Solid film. Could have been better, but hey, still enjoyable. Okay, now let's get to the film that everyone just doesn't seem to like, and with good reason. Lightyear. Okay. Lightyear. Where do I begin with this one? From what I understand, Pixar has claimed that there are no plans for a fifth movie. Oh, thank God. Oh shit! Sorry, I accidentally muted myself. But yeah, as Maple said, yeah, no plans for Pixar has no plans for a fifth movie, and I'm like, oh, thank God, we do not need another one. Okay, I have quite a bit to say on this movie, but hold on one moment. Onto a movie that is even more unnecessary than 4, basically. Now, this is the movie that was neither necessary nor good, I would say. But hold on one moment. Let me just post something here. I gotta add a cool image of Lightyear. Yeah, that's cool. That's rad. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, boy. Yeah. Okay, I'll stop. Okay. Lightyear. Let's talk about Lightyear. Hold up. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, so Lightyear. Alright, a lot of people don't like this film, or at least found it underwhelming. Okay, so this might surprise you guys, but I actually found the movie enjoyable. Don't stone me, but I actually found the movie enjoyable. I can see why people don't like it, and there are valid reasons for people not to like it, but I actually didn't hate the movie as much as everyone else did. At least at first. I didn't like the ending. I thought it was stupid, but or rather like from when the movie showed the face of the villain, like from that point onward, I didn't like the movie. But before that I liked it. So like I liked the beginning, the middle, but the end was crap in my opinion. But yeah, I didn't hate this movie as much as everyone else did. So yeah. Because I thought the movie had a good beginning and middle. It's just the end that was crap. But that's just me. Let's first address the two big controversies with this movie, both of which are very dumb. Yeah, let's go ahead and get that out of the way first. I'll be right back. I need to get more cranberry juice. Okay. Yeah, one of the controversies with this movie was that there was a scene with a lesbian couple kissing for like 15 seconds, and now people complained about that. And I was just like, I'm just like, whatever, it's one kiss, who cares? Like, it's not like they were making out for a long time or whatever. It was just one fucking kiss. They hugged and then they kissed or whatever. That's it. It was only 15 seconds, and people are like, OMG, get these lessies off my screen. I'm like, no, stop. Just stop. Yeah, you guys are just, stop. Like, just stop. Like, seriously, it's just a fucking whatever. You've never seen Two Women in Love before? Or you have, but you're like, ew, we don't like it, whatever. Just whatever. It's not hurting anybody. Just stop. Although, I do respect Pixar for not giving a shit. I do respect them for not giving a shit. I do. Because to me, it seems like they're the kind of company who just really wouldn't care about this kind of stuff. They would do it anyway. Like, we don't care. We'll do it anyway. And although they try to be careful not to like overdo it, all they just do is show like one scene of queer representation, and that's it. That's it. Like, it's like it's never a big deal. So, but yeah, really, it's just one kiss between two women. It's not a big deal. They're not hurting anybody. Okay, the second controversy is that Tim Allen didn't reprise his role because Pixar wanted a new voice for this version, not because of his politics. If it was because of his politics, then he wouldn't have been brought back for Toy Story 4 or a Santa Claus D+ series. Yeah, that's fair. They just wanted a new voice for Buzz. Yeah, I was wondering why Buzz changed voice actors, though. But, like, whatever. Like, I don't care. I mean, the voice actor himself was fine in this movie. Not as iconic as Tim Allen, but what do you expect? Like, Tim Allen has been around for... He had been around for quite a long time. What do you expect? But yeah, I thought Buzz's voice in this movie was just fine. Funnily enough, that was actually originally cut from the movie, but was added back in after the controversy surrounding the Don't Say Gay bill. That... What the fuck? Yeah, oh my fucking god. This is why we can't have queer representation in anything. Although I'm not the kind of person who's gonna force, like... See, I'm not the kind of person who puts in shit like that, like representation just for representation's sake. I put it in because I actually like that kind of content. I don't do it for diversity points or whatever. But in any case, like, does it fucking matter? Yeah, now that you mention it, actually I didn't mention this earlier in this rant stream, but I'm glad you brought it up now. It doesn't really make much sense for this movie to be the movie that made Andy buy Buzz Lightyear in 1995. 1995. You know, the era of dial-up and box computers and shit. And Andy watched this movie, this sci-fi movie that's hella modern. Sure. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Whatever. Yeah, Pixar didn't think this one all the way through. They really didn't. Like, just whatever. Like, it's just stupid. I don't know what they were thinking with this. They could have just made this an entirely different spin-off. It could have just been a Buzz Lightyear story. A story of a Buzz Lightyear from a different time. They could have just done that. No, they decided to tie it into this Toy Story series. And in the dumbest way possible. I'm sorry. Oh my god. It makes me wonder why Andy never hooked up Bo and Jesse during this playing time. Right? It's like, oh, there are two women kissing. Hey, Bo, Jesse. Ooh, let's get some action. And I was like, it's like, okay, make Woody and Buzz kiss each other too. It's like, okay, let's make the relationships polyamorous. Oh god. And he's like, okay, we can do a 4-way, and I'm like, okay, yeah, no, no, God, no. Yeah, I know you're not homophobic, Maple. I'm not homophobic either. I'm fine with the LGBT representation. I'm fine with that shit. Like, for example, there's Undertale. In Undertale, there was plenty of it. Not too much, but enough of it. You know, with Undyne and Alphys, both girls, both falling in love with each other. Like, I'm like, I don't care. Like, they both love each other. Who cares if they're both women? I don't care. And I don't care about like representation in other movies. Just who cares? I even have an uncle who's gay and just got married. Yeah. Yeah, like, I know, like, I've had a few friends in the past. I had a few friends in the past, sorry, who were gay. So who cares? So yeah, like, really. No one, I don't think anyone in my server is homophobic. Literally nobody cares what your sexuality is on this server. Nobody gives a shit. So, yeah. So really, a scene like this in Lightyear would not have made us like flinch or cringe or anything like that. It was a pretty wholesome scene, actually. She, like, Buzz's friend, what was it, Commander Hawthorne? She had a wife and she loved her and she wanted to show her affection. So what's the problem? I did remember an old man leaving the theater right after it was revealed that the woman was engaged to another woman. That's a pretty dumb reason to leave a theater, especially after you paid money to be there. Like, why? I bet he was like, I'm gonna go watch a different movie. I'm like, yeah, sure, you can do that, but you might end up missing pieces of the other movie you want to watch. I don't know, like, you could just stay at the damn movie you paid for. And that man bought a large bucket of popcorn and a large soda and was in 3D. Like, dude, you literally just wasted all your money on this movie. Just watch the damn thing. Like, that was literally the only time you ever, like, the only time you ever see any queer representation. Get over yourself. He literally just threw away $20 to $30, fam. If you're gonna leave a movie for a reason as insignificant as that, then I don't know. Maybe you really shouldn't be watching movies in the first place. Like, if you're just gonna, like, I understand if a movie gets too intense for you. Like, no joke. Like, I used to be in this daycare as a kid, and the adults took us all to watch this one movie, but it was a very violent movie. Like, at one point, the characters were throwing knives at each other, and then they just had us leave. I don't know why they didn't realize it was that violent in the first place. Yeah, my daycare was kind of shitty, but yeah, and like, for reasons like that, I understand why you'd want to leave a movie. If it gets too uncomfortable for you, it's fine to leave, but it has to be for a good reason, not for like not for just one scene where two women kiss or two men or whatever. Who cares? who the fuck cares? What's funny though is that those two literally died like 5 minutes later, right? Like if you had just stayed behind, man, you wouldn't have seen any more of them. I don't know, people are stupid. But yeah, those controversies were pretty stupid. So, now on to the movie itself. Again, I didn't hate the movie. I actually kind of liked it, but only the beginning and middle. The ending was just stupid. Just very stupid. So, I'm not even gonna bother I'm not even gonna bother providing a recap of the plot because I just don't feel like it. But okay, so why don't I just get to the negatives of this film first? Okay, so the negatives. Okay. So the conflict of the movie is that Buzz and his space crew, they were investigating the planet nearby for any signs of hostile life or whatever. Unfortunately, that trip goes wrong, and then they were about to escape the planet, but unfortunately, Buzz accidentally damaged the ship in the process, causing everyone to be marooned, and unfortunately, like they don't have any way to leave the planet, so Buzz tries this plan that the space crew have, where where basically one person goes into orbit and flies at hyper speed and then returns. I forgot what the reason for this was. I can't be bothered to remember, but basically if they could reach hyperspeed they could go home. So Buzz tried to do that. The first time failed, and unfortunately there was a side effect to experiencing such hyperspeed. See, like if you move if you move fast enough, you can literally just skip right through time. However, you experience time more slowly than everything else around you. So when Buzz did his first experiment, he made time advance 4 years, although it was 4 minutes in this case. And everyone else on the space crew was like literally worried about him. They thought he had disappeared, but he didn't. And Buzz is like, oh shit. Like, then if I do this again, we can't, then I'll just end up skipping time again. And I don't want to do that. But then he's like, no, you know what? I have to do it. And like his best friend, Commander Hawthorne, was like, Buzz, are you sure you want to do this? Like, this is this is just gonna be too much for you. But then Buzz is like, no, I want to get everyone home. I'm the one who got us into this mess. I will get everyone home. And so she was like, okay, I'll support you. And so Buzz literally kept doing the experiment, causing time to skip. Like, how many years? 65? And yeah, and then at one point his best friend died because, she died of natural causes. She was pretty elderly. She had kids and grandkids, a granddaughter that Buzz will meet later, but yeah. So yeah, Buzz skipped through a lot of time. See, this movie's just pretty depressing at the beginning because, because basically they're stuck on the planet, and Buzz is literally Buzz literally letting time fly right past him, just so he can find a way back home. It's depressing at first, but then the mood in the movie picks up after that point. It becomes basically lighthearted again. But yeah, the beginning was pretty depressing, but I didn't mind it. Like, I don't mind depressing kids movies. I don't really mind. As long as it's not like to an extreme degree, like genocide or some shit like that. No, no, we don't need to do that. But I mean, Kung Fu Panda 2 did it, but it did so in a tasteful way. But anyway, well, sort of. I would say more, but I don't want to spoil that movie. But anyway, as long as the movie isn't too damn dark or whatever, I don't care. But yeah, basically throughout the movie, Buzz works with this ragtag group of space rangers. They're not even space rangers, really. They act like they are, but they're not. They're all basically just inexperienced people who do have some talent in some areas that end up becoming useful later down the line. But yeah, none of them are actually space rangers. Although they looked like space rangers at first and even acted like space rangers, they were not. They just sucked outright. But, you know, Buzz actually does form a good team with them. Although there were some screw-ups along the way, you know, they actually do get shit done. And by the way, Zurg also appears as a villain here. And guess what? He's Buzz from the future. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why why Pixar went down this route. Like, why did you make the villain Buzz himself? Like, why? It could have been anyone else. Why did you make it Buzz himself? Why? Oh my god, why? But yeah, it's Buzz from the future. And my fucking god. Okay, so Buzz from the future basically kidnapped Buzz to tell him about this plan that he has. And yeah, exactly. The Zerg reveal was so fucking stupid. Like, when I saw it, I was like, that was really the part where I just stopped liking the movie. I was like, I'm out. Oh no, I didn't stop watching after that point, but like, that just made me, like, that made me mentally nope right out of the movie. Because, like, I was enjoying the movie up until that point, and then I was like, like, oh my fucking god. But yeah, like, Buzz from the future has a plan to, like, use... Oh, I forgot to mention. Okay, so, early in the movie, Buzz had a problem, you know, reaching hyperspeed because the fuel he was using was unstable. So he had to find the right compound to let him reach hyperspeed in a stable manner. And he finally perfected that thanks to his robot companion named Socks, who's actually one of the best characters in the film, but I'll get to him later. And Buzz from the future is like, you know what? I'm gonna use that fuel rod so that we can just like, so that we can just go back in time. So if we can go forward in time, why can't we go back in time? But then Buzz is like, wait, but I can't do that. Like, that will erase everything that's happened. Like, my friend and her family, like, and her granddaughter, none of them will have ever existed. And then Buzz from the future is like, yeah, well, I mean, do you want to live on this planet forever? Like, man, like, we could fix all this. And Buzz is like, no, I don't want to do it. And then that's the conflict there between the two Buzzes. So they fight each other. Buzz manages to escape with the fuel rod, thanks to the help of his friends. But unfortunately, his future self escapes too. And then there's a struggle. And then his future self literally tries to destroy his younger self's ship, and then takes the fuel rod for himself. And then Buzz is like, you know what, fuck this shit. And then he literally just shoots this fuel cell and blows it up, seemingly destroying Zurg. Seemingly. And then Buzz goes after his friends who are in a different ship, and they're about to crash land, but they manage to make a safe landing. Oh yeah, and I forgot. Like early in the movie, Buzz stole a ship so that he could try the hyperspace thing again for one last time, which he manages to pull off. But he had to steal a ship from the new commander. I forgot what his name was, and yeah, so after Buzz and the others crash land, uh, the new commander gets mad at them at first, but then he's like, you saved us. You saved the day, so we'll make you all space rangers. Buzz was already a space ranger, but the others weren't, so yeah, they become space rangers, and then they somehow fucking they somehow become this team that fights against some weird space threat called the I forgot what the fucking enemies were called. The Galactic Alliance or something like that. I can't remember. I can't be bothered to remember either. But yeah, they basically become a bunch of heroes fighting against space threats. I mean, that's fine, but how the movie got up to that point was just very stupid, in my opinion. I mean, it could have led nicely into another film. That would have been a good sequel for this one, but the build up to that point wasn't satisfying. I'm sorry, like I just did not like the last third of the film. The first two parts were fine, but the last part was just one big no, in my opinion. It all went downhill the moment Zurg's face was shown. I just no. If you want to make an older Buzz villain, that's fine, but why make him Zurg? Yeah, Zurg did not need to be in this film. Oh, and he doesn't end up dying, by the way, but you're not surprised. Like, of course, like because we don't really see him actually die on screen. Just we see him get blasted away. But if you watch one of the post-credit scenes, he's actually shown to be alive. You know, like in a generic way. You know, like that generic trope of, oh, you think the villain's dead, but he's not. And he comes back to life or whatever by opening his eyes or some shit like that. That's basically what the movie did. And I thought it was pretty lazy. Especially when Zurg wasn't even that good of a villain in the first place. Because, like, honestly, at first I was like, this movie isn't so bad. Why do people dislike it? And then you watch the third act, and it's like, oh. I was like, oh, okay. Damn. Like, this movie was so close to making me like it entirely, but the third act is just one big no. I'm just like, no, hell no. Nah, bitch. No, I'm not doing that shit. No. Just no. Just one big no. Yeah, they could have just made up a different villain here. Like, so basically the third act is stupid for several reasons. But yeah, technically, see, at one point... Okay, so at one point, like... The computer that created the fuel formula that got Buzz to reach hyperspeed, it was destroyed, so they couldn't replicate the fuel cell. So basically, yeah, at the end of the movie, they're still stuck on the planet, I guess, but at the same time, they go off into space and fight intergalactic threats, so it's like they're not stuck? So it makes me wonder, okay, like, you guys can just leave the planet? Like, what exactly is stopping you? Because they mentioned something about needing to reach hyperspace at the beginning, but it was so weirdly explained that I honestly, I couldn't be bothered to remember. I don't know. It's like, I feel like at the end of the movie, they all literally could just leave the planet. Like, what's stopping them from leaving? Because they literally go out and stop intergalactic threats. So I'm like, guys, you can just leave. If you can just go out into the galaxy and stop intergalactic threats. Like, what's stopping you from leaving the planet? I don't know. Like, this movie just doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes. Yeah, and like the movie does feel rushed at points too. That's also another thing. Like, they could have made that reveal about, you know, the reveal that Zurg is Buzz's older self. They could have made that reveal. They could have made that reveal earlier in the film. And plus, that was a pretty shitty use of the whole younger self meets older self trope, when there are other shows and movies that do that better. Like Danny Phantom, for example. That trope was used better there. Whereas here, it's just not used very well. And another thing I have a problem with in the movie is that, you know, even though Buzz was the reason why he and his space crew were stuck on that planet, literally nobody gets mad at him for it. I'm not joking. Not a single person literally admonishes him for his recklessness. Like, nobody gets mad at him. Nobody yells at him. Nobody talks bad about him behind his back. Nobody, like, literally nobody even seems to hold it against him that they're stuck there. Which makes me wonder why is Buzz the only one who's trying so hard to, like, who feels guilty about this whole thing, who cares. Like, why is he the only one who's so obsessed with getting home when nobody else is like, when everyone else is like, hey, you know what, fuck it, we'll just live here. Like, it just didn't make a lot of sense to me. You'd expect some people to, like, react, but no. Just, why? I don't know. This movie doesn't make a lot of sense because, and it also kind of ruins the conflict of the movie, because it's like, if other people don't care that they're stuck on the planet, then why should I care? Like, it's like, if you guys don't care, then why should I care as the audience? Like, why should I care? It's just like, why? Like, I feel like this movie did have, it had, like, it sounded good on paper, but the execution was just shit. It just, no. Like, this movie I just have very mixed feelings about this movie. Which is sad, because I genuinely did enjoy the first 2/3, but then the last third, no. Just no. I don't know. This movie was also missing quite a bit of lore and the characters that the Toy Story universe established. Which brings me to my next point. Why even make this a Buzz Lightyear movie? Like, why? You could literally just take Buzz Lightyear out of the movie and nothing would change. You could replace him with any other character and nothing would change. Like, why is this a Buzz Lightyear movie? Like, like, honestly, that's the thing. This movie feels like one bad fan fiction, where it's like, you take a character and then put them in a completely different setting with completely different characters, and I'm just like, fam, just make your own story. If you're, like, why even use a character if you're gonna put them in a completely different environment? Just make your own damn story. Come on. Like, come on. But yeah, like, really, this movie doesn't. I'm not saying that it has to feel like a Toy Story film, because it's not. But at the same time, it doesn't really carry the essence of what made Toy Story Toy Story, if that makes sense. Like, I wouldn't even consider this a spin-off film. It's not a Toy Story film, which is fine, but I wouldn't even consider it a spin-off film either. It's just there. It's just a Pixar movie with Buzz slapped onto it. That's all. Jesus, ranting for 3 hours? Oh, I've done longer than that, fam. But hi, Blue. It's about time you showed up. No lovable aliens, no piece of planet. Buzz barely uses his jetpack and laser, and his iconic lines feel quite forced. Yeah, that's another complaint I have. Like, this doesn't feel like Buzz Lightyear. It feels like somebody with Buzz Lightyear's skin. And the iconic lines that were forced, like where there was this one line where he said, "Not today, Zurg," and I'm just like, while he was fighting Zurg, and I'm just like, yeah, no, stop. It's not the same. Just stop, Pixar. Stop. Stop. This isn't Buzz Lightyear. This is somebody who looks like Buzz Lightyear. And barely. Because Buzz Lightyear did not have a chin that big. I'm sorry, he didn't. Anyway. Also, if Andy really watched this movie and wanted a Buzz Lightyear action figure, then why didn't he get a Socks one too? Because continuity. is non-existent in this film. About time I showed up. Who are you, Shadow? Ew, no, gross. I'm not emo. I'm not edgy. Usually. But yeah, this film, it had a good idea, but the execution was kind of crap. I'm sorry. I gave this film a chance. I gave it a chance. It's like I liked it at first, but now it's like no, just no, no. And yeah, the side characters. Let me talk about the side characters. Okay. So there are 3 side characters, ignoring the cat. Well, I'll talk about the cat as well. There was a robotic cat named Socks. I like him. He's a good character. He's the funniest one out of all of them, in my opinion. He was a good character. I liked him. He was also adorable. So yeah, Socks is pretty cool. Now the other ones, Izzy, the old lady, and the young man. Honestly, I can't be bothered to remember what the other two's names are. I can't be bothered. Izzy's like literally the only person whose name I remember. The other two are just that forgettable. And it helps that Izzy is like she was the granddaughter of Buzz's friend, so of course I wasn't going to forget her name. But the other two, they're not unimportant, but at the same time they're just bland and forgettable. Izzy's okay. Izzy was a decent character, but the other two, not so much. The old lady was fine sometimes, but sometimes she wasn't. She was okay sometimes, and other times she was just bland and forgettable. The young man, now he was the worst one out of all of them. Like, he was trying so hard to be funny, and he failed most of the time. He fucking failed. Like, honestly, most of his attempts at humor were just bad. I'm like, fam, you're not funny. Stop. Just stop. Which is ironic because the person who voiced him, I think he's a comedian in real life. I can't remember. So it was funny for him to voice a character that literally was not funny. I was just like, ha ha ha, wow, irony. But yeah, like, he was the worst side character out of all of them. Constantly going on and on about his pen. Oh, my shoot has a pen! Oh my god! I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. I don't care. I do not give a shit. You shut the fuck up. But yeah, like, everyone else was okay. He was just the most annoying one, in my opinion. He needed to shut up. It's also nice to see Kiki Palmer be in more movies. I remember crushing on her when I watched True Jackson VP. Oh, that was the shit. I think it had only 2 seasons though. It was a decent show. Chris Evans did good, although I just kept thinking of Captain America every time I heard his voice. Yeah, honestly, I feel like he was miscast here. But yeah, the voice acting was fine. It wasn't bad. None of the Toy Story films and Lightyear have bad voice acting. But yeah. Okay, so let's see. We talked about the side characters, half of which were forgettable and half of which were decent. We talked about the stupidity of the plot, the idea of it anyway. We talked about the stupidity of the reveal of Zurg's identity, and I really should be typing this down. Hang on. I feel like Lightyear is probably the only one that's gonna have a shit ton of negatives. Anyway. The reveal of Zurg's identity was very stupid. Side characters were mixed in quality, ranging from decent to borderline forgettable. Oops. Buzz is literally the only one who cares to get off the planet. So I don't see why I should have to like be so worried that no one's going to get off, because literally nobody else is trying to get off. They're like, we'll just live life here. So like if you guys don't care, then I don't see why I should care either. Anything else? This movie lacks any of the charm that the Toy Story movies had. I also don't get the whole eating the sandwich with the ham outside and the bread inside thing. Yeah, like they were trying to rationalize and saying that, oh, it makes more sense to have the ham and shit on the outside and the bread on the inside. It's like that you're using too much bread by doing it the other way around. I'm like, that makes no fucking sense, because as Buzz said, you would just get your fingers all moist and dirty. Like, why would you eat a sandwich with the ham and cheese and stuff outside? Like, the bread is literally there to hold everything together. Like, that makes no fucking sense. And they were like, it makes more sense to do it this way. No, it doesn't. Shut up. I don't care if it's a fiction movie. I don't give a shit. That shit makes no fucking sense. I think I've covered... I just don't get how this movie is considered woke. This is like the most safe and straightforward Pixar movie ever. Pretty much. But, you know, people will see wokeness where it's not present. Buzz Lightyear does not feel like Buzz Lightyear. I need to keep my tenses consistent. There we go. Buzz Lightyear did not feel like Buzz Lightyear. He didn't. This movie was a basic sci-fi movie with Buzz slapped onto it, which kind of goes into the previous point, but this point needs to be emphasized separately because like literally these 3 points all tie into each other here. These 3 points, I feel like they need to be emphasized separately because this movie is just very. It just like it just doesn't belong in the Toy Story series, but for multiple reasons, which are pretty much all of these right here. Okay, let's see. Oh, right. I should also mention the humor was hit or miss here. It was very hit or miss. Sometimes the jokes landed, sometimes they didn't. But there's really no consistent quality like in the first 4 Toy Story films. It's just not as consistent. Like some of the characters were like some of the things the characters did were funny. Some of them were not. There were times where I laughed, and there were times where I was just like, okay, this is a lame joke. So, the humor was just quite hit or miss. I'm sorry, I tried to be nice to this film, but there's just quite a bit wrong with it. To be honest, I think I prefer the Lightyear movie that was released on VHS as a pilot for the TV show. I'm sure a lot of people did. And I'm sure a lot of people preferred the TV show as well. I think I'm actually going to share an article I wrote at the time the movie came out. It's about how the movie bombing could spell doom for Pixar's future in theaters. True, because this is their most recent film, if I'm not mistaken. With Turning Red being... I think Turning Red came out right before this one. Sometime before. But anyway. I'll put it on Discord. Okay? Okay, cool. I'll be sure to read it. So, yeah, like, there's quite a bit wrong with this movie. Quite a bit wrong with it. But yeah, I recommend that you all read Poisonous Maple's articles. He says some pretty insightful things. Anything else regarding the negatives? Oh. The movie felt rushed at points. Again, like, an example of this would be the whole reveal of Zurg's identity being, like, it took place pretty late in the movie. That's something that, like, I feel like that's something that should have been done a bit earlier. And it was kind of stupid that, and it's really stupid that Zurg is Buzz's future self. Because I'm like, okay, dude, so if you were never against Bugs in the first place, why did you literally try to hurt him and his crew? Like, like, did you think that violence was the only way to, you know, get their attention? I don't know. I don't know. This movie's so stupid. Well, maybe so stupid is too harsh. It's just stupid. It's just stupid at certain points, I should say. Because there are some parts that work, but there are some parts that just don't. But yeah, like, Pixar literally could have just put in any other character in this film instead of Buzz Lightyear, and nothing would change. Like, if you're going to use Buzz Lightyear, like, just make the character actually feel like Buzz Lightyear. Because people like the TV show. Why not? Like, you could have used that as a template for coming up with something different to do with Buzz Lightyear, but you didn't do that, Pixar, and this was the result. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, you put it on Discord? Cool. Promote yourself. Why Lightyear underperforming could spell doom for Pixar's future in theaters. I'll be sure to read that later. But yeah, like, oh my fucking god. This movie could have been better than it was. I didn't hate the concept, but the execution was just no. Just no, especially towards the end. Like, the ending just ruined it. It ruined the movie for me. Oh well. Wait, oh shit. Well, never mind. Okay, well, positives. Let me cover the positives really fast. The animation was really good, but I don't really need to put that here because I mentioned it earlier, so I'll just say this. Socks was best boy. He was best boy. As I said earlier, he was a good character. Definitely the funniest out of all of them. Like, it was nice seeing him on screen. Like, he was a good companion, and he actually ended up being the one to figure out the proper formula for the power for the fuel that Buzz needed to reach hyperspace. It took him years though, but yeah. It took him 65 years actually, but whatever. So all that time that while Buzz was going off trying to reach hyperspace, Socks was figuring out the proper formula. And I was like, okay, Socks coming in with that clutch. But yeah, Socks was pretty cool here, and pretty important as well. He does a lot of important shit. Socks basically carried the film. He carried the film. Izzy kind of did too, but the other two not so much. The other two are kind of just dead weights in my opinion, especially the young man. Like, I forgot what his name was, but he's just, I don't even care to look it up, but like he was the biggest dead weight out of all of them. The biggest dead weight. Like, at least the old lady did some useful things here and there. That all the guy just did was just whine and complain all the entire time, and just say a bunch of shit that wasn't really funny. Like, no, stop, fam, just stop. But Socks was best boy. We love him. We love Socks. Anything else I can say? The music, not really all that memorable, but not bad either. It was serviceable. It was decent. Like, good. Like, it was. There were good. There was good music during the action sequences. So I'd say the music was decent, just not very memorable. But yeah, I didn't hate this movie, but I just didn't care much for it. It just feels so disposable and came out many years too late. Yeah, exactly. So this movie could have been done earlier. It should have been done earlier. Like, I mean, there was a huge gap between Toy Story 3 and 4. They could have squeezed Lightyear in. Well, actually no. Well, yeah, they could have squeezed Lightyear in there, but they didn't. I feel like if they had done this earlier, then it probably would have. Then the movie probably wouldn't have clashed as much as it did. It wouldn't have clashed as much with the series as it did, because then it wouldn't have been as progressive in terms of technology or whatever. But anyway, I'm trying to think of who's calling me. Oh no, I cannot. No, I really cannot call him back now. No. But anyway, I'll have to talk to him later. Okay. Anyway, but okay, so the music is decent. The animation is great. This is probably the best looking film out of all of them. The animation is the greatest here. I mean, 3 and 4 were already very good in the animation. 1 was good, but it was slightly dated. 2 was great. 3 was really great. 4 was amazing, and 5 was just out of this world, as I said. So Pixar got the animation right, but it's Pixar. They're not going to suck at the animation. They've been in the game for too long to do that. But anyway. But yeah, other than Socks being the best side character, or best character actually, because Buzz himself was okay as a character, he just could have been done better. But yeah, Socks was the best character, but other than that, I can't think of anything else to say about this movie in terms of positives. I'm trying to think, but I cannot think of any others. Because I can't comment on the... I already said that the plot and the humor were not very good. But the animation and voice acting... The animation was great. The voice acting was... good. Yeah. The music was decent. Socks was a good character. Along with Izzy. And that's really it. That's all I can say about this movie. I already talked about the negatives, so... This movie was a huge bomb, grossing only $226 million with a $200 million budget. Yikes. Damn. So, I mean, technically, Disney made back the money they used, but that's like a $26 million difference. That's not good. This movie had a budget of $200 million, basically the same as Mulan 2020, but it grossed only $226 million. That's not good. That's only a $26 million profit. That's all, and and I'm like, that's pretty small. That's not good. I mean, they didn't go broke from that, so there's that. They didn't lose any money. I mean, but like, that's not good. Like, this film bombed. It didn't bomb as hard as Mulan 2020. Trust me, that one really bombed. But this one bombed. Although, to be fair, it wasn't released during COVID, so thank God for that. But otherwise, it would have done even worse. And it didn't help that streaming services are pretty big nowadays, so yeah, if people can just watch it on Disney Plus, then why go to the theaters? Like, why go to the theaters if you can just watch it? If you could just stream it, like, why? Yeah, I'm sure streaming is causing a lot of problems for movie theaters. Because it's like, if you can just watch it online, why go to the theaters? Like, you can just do it from the comfort of your own home. Oh, they did lose money? Oh, no. Well, never mind. And it doesn't seem to be doing much better on Disney Plus either. Right? It's not one of those movies that I'd ever watch again. I really only needed to watch it once. I can see myself rewatching any of the first Toy Story, any of the 4 Toy Story films, but with Lightyear, no. Just no. Which is sad. Like, if they had changed the ending, I would have liked the movie. But no, they didn't do that. They had to at least make $400 million to make a profit. Oh, damn. Oops. Damn. Oof. Big oof. Oofers. But yeah, let me just go ahead and finish this damn thing because I'm getting tired. But yeah, Lightyear. It had a fairly decent start, and it had a good middle, but the ending was shit. So, like, it started off fairly strong, but it never finished that way. That's all I can say. Oof. Big oof. But yeah, here's how I'd rank the movies. Again, I didn't hate Lightyear that as much as everyone else did, but yeah, it has problems. I wouldn't call it good. I wouldn't say it's, like, very bad, but it's not good either. It's just serviceable. Lightyear is serviceable. That's what I'm going to say about it. It's serviceable. But here's how I'd rank the movies. All 5. Toy Story 2 at the top, then Toy Story 1, then Toy Story 3, and then Toy Story 4. Although Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 3, like, they're very close. Like, they're very close to each other. I just like Toy Story 1 more. But Toy Story 1 and 3 are very good. Toy Story 2 is the best. Toy Story 4 is decent. It's good. Just not as good as the other three. And Lightyear is the weakest one. It's serviceable, but fam, it could have been better. A lot better. It's like such an interesting concept, and you guys just, yeah. And it also doesn't help that you'd expect Buzz Lightyear to go on space adventures across the galaxy, but he gets stuck in just one place for most of the film, avoiding Zurg. That's kind of it. For someone named Lightyear, he doesn't really do a lot of moving around the galaxy. Oof. Although I guess I won't add that to the list of negatives, because I actually didn't mind it too much that the film took place in just a single location, but it would have been a better idea for Buzz Lightyear to have traveled across the galaxy. That would have been a more interesting take on his character. Oh well. Anyway. But yeah, that's how I'd rank these movies. Now, conclusion. Comments. Lightyear is the weakest film. Toy Story 2 is the strongest film. The first Toy Story movies are good. Oh, the 4 Toy Story movies, I should say. All 4 Toy Story movies are good. Okay, ratings. Toy Story 1 gets 8 out of 10 for me. Toy Story 2 gets a 9 out of 10. Maybe even a 9.5. Probably a 9.5. Let's go with 9.5. Toy Story 3 gets an 8.5 out of 10. I know I ranked it higher than Toy Story 1. See, I think Toy Story 3 is... See, I think Toy Story 3, like... I think it's a little bit better than Toy Story 1, but I like Toy Story 1 more. I just do. So, anyway. Toy Story 4 gets a 7 out of 10. And then Lightyear gets a... Should I put 5.5 or 6? If I want to be nice, 6 out of 10. If I want to be mean, 5 out of 10. If I want to have a compromise, 5.5 out of 10. So Maple ranks the movies as follows: 2 and 3 at the top, then 1, then 4, and then Lightyear. That's a pretty fair list. Lightyear is serviceable at best. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. But yeah. Toy Story 1, 8 out of 10. Toy Story 2, 9.5 out of 10. Toy Story 3, 8.5 out of 10. Toy Story 4, 7 out of 10. Lightyear, 6 out of 10. And I'm being nice with that 6 out of 10 figure. But yeah, that's how I'd rank the movies. Wow, we are finally done. There was a lot to talk about, but I'm just glad it's all done. But yeah, I did enjoy watching all these movies again, even Lightyear, at least most of it. But yeah. I can't really think of any flaws with the first three Toy Story movies. To me, the first three Toy Story movies are the trilogy. 4 is just a welcome addition, but wasn't really necessary. And Lightyear just shouldn't have happened. Oh my god. Okay. But yeah, good voice talent all around, really. Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear. Great, great voice actor for him. He was made for the role. Tom Hanks as Woody. Also a great voice. Anyway. Oh, let me also add one more thing. Toy Story 4 wasn't necessary, but was a... Let me just change that. Isn't necessary, but is a welcome addition. There. Toy Story 4 isn't necessary, but is a welcome addition. All 4 Toy Story movies are good. Lightyear is serviceable at best. Toy Story 2 is the strongest film, and Lightyear is the weakest film. That's all I can say, really. We talked a lot. Okay, let's see. Where's the layout? Oh, I'm dumb. Okay, the end. And that's that. I love the first 3 so much. I might go back and edit those too. Let me go back. I feel like the first one should probably get an 8.5 out of 10. And the second one can get a 9 out of 10. Yeah, third one, sorry. So, yeah, let me edit those. And Toy Story 4, I'm still going to keep it at 7. Fuck it, Lightyear can get a 5.5. And it's like I bumped up 2 rankings, but then lowered one of them. But yeah, Toy Story 1 gets an 8.5 for me. Toy Story 2 gets a 9.5. Toy Story 3 gets a 9. Toy Story 4 gets a 7, and Lightyear gets a 5.5. Yeah, that's better. Anyway. So what's the next Rantstream going to be on? Oh, I am actually glad that you asked. I'm going to do one tomorrow, and it's going to be of the last 3 Illumination movies that I haven't watched. That I haven't covered, I mean. Hop, The Lorax, and The Grinch. And then I will have covered all of Illumination's movies. I've already watched Hop. It sucks. That's all I'm going to say. It just sucks. It sucks. Whoever wrote it should not be a writer. That's all I'm going to say. But I'll talk about why it sucks later. But I haven't watched The Grinch or The Lorax, so I can't comment on those. I'm probably going to watch, like, The Grinch after this rant stream. Or if not after this rant stream, just tomorrow, along with The Lorax. But yeah. I'm going to cover the last 3 Illumination movies tomorrow. And I think... yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much what the rant stream is going to be on. The last 3 Illumination movies that I haven't covered. Because we all know that Illumination are the masters when it comes to storytelling. They really aren't, actually. But we already knew that. Oh, those movies, right? The movies that nobody cares about or just finds absolutely awful. But it's Illumination. What do you expect? They're less about quality and more about quantity. As long as the movie works, they will sell it. They know, like, that's just how they are. But yeah, that's really all I can say. In any case, I should be going now. But this was fun. How long have I been streaming? Ooh, almost 4 hours. 3 hours and 41 seconds, to be honest. 41 minutes, sorry. But yeah, I hope. Oh shoot! Let me go back to this one. Let me go back to this slide. Okay, there. I've seen The Grinch, but not the other two. Oh, okay. Well, we'll be talking about those later. And I think after that, I'm probably gonna do like one more Rantstream where I cover 4 more DreamWorks movies, like Shark Tale, the 2 Boss Baby movies, and there was a 4th one I'm trying to remember. Ants, that's what it was. Okay, so yeah, we'll cover Ants, Shark Tale, and the 2 Boss Baby movies, and then that'll probably be it for me regarding rant streams. I might do more in the future, but I'm just gonna stop doing them temporarily after the next 2. But yeah, you're welcome, Maple. This was pretty fun. And I'm glad you were here because you were able to add to the discussion. I always appreciate anyone in the chat adding to the discussion. It helps me bring up points that I've never even that I forget or haven't considered. So yeah, thank you for being here, Maple. I'm glad you enjoyed the stream. But yeah, that's all I have to say regarding these 5 movies. The first 3 are the Golden Trilogy to me. 4 was a welcome addition. Lightyear was not. That's all I have to say. It certainly helped save my night since my ball team is playing like dog shit right now. Damn. Well, I'm glad to have cheered you up. Because I know you were looking forward to this rant stream. I would not have started without you. They can't hit a score to save their lives right now. Damn. Shit, I'm sorry. I know it's frustrating to watch your team do so poorly. At least you didn't gamble or anything. Because that would have been bad if you had. But, yeah, I'm sorry. But I just hope that this isn't their last match, because if it is, shit. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed this rant stream. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get going. But in any case, this was fun. This was. I think I covered just about all the points I want to cover with this with these movies. But anyway, thank you, Maple, for being here, and thank everyone else for watching and for contributing to the discussion along with me and Maple. Thank you all so much for watching. Oh, they've only scored 1 run in the last 31 innings. That is not good. That's absolutely awful. Holy shit. Damn, that's awful. Oh my god. But I just hope that this is only a one-time thing for them. Come on, guys, get it together. Although it's probably too late for you at this point, but just stay strong. Don't give up. And all that generic crap. I'm kidding. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. This was really fun. But anyway, I'm Chronology 15, and I will see you guys next time. So until then, Deuces and goodbye. I said Pog boys. Poggers and Dig boys. Let's go. But yeah.